Good evening, world. We are Some Irritating Male Podcast, also known as SIMP.
Mm-hmm.
The
I
one
am
and only.
indeed. I am Jacob, and I am joined by my wonderful co-hosts Paxton and Josh.
Good
All
to
right.
meet you.
Wonderful enthusiasm and wonderful co-hosts. Today, we have something interesting, something different from what we've done before. We are gamifying this version of the podcast, and we are gamifying specifically our favorite movies, and we're doing it in a tournament bracket style. And we actually have a March Madness theme to it. So we have 64 movies. These were all chosen from our favorites. The format of this episode is going to be the very beginning. We're going to talk a little bit about our criteria for what we view a good movie and just our general interest in movies. And then after that will be the tournament itself. And then we'll have a little section at the end where we can air out our grievances on maybe movies that didn't do too well, or we were upset with how the tournament was arranged. And basically, Paxton and Josh can start yelling at me at that point because I am the one that put this together.
Amen.
Mm-hmm.
But before we get into introductions of our interest in movies and what we like, I do want to talk a little bit about this format. So I have left Josh and Paxton in the dark on most of the things that are going on here. So this is going to be new to them. So I want to talk to them and to anybody who's watching this. You guys are hearing this all together for the first time. So how this is going to work is there are going to be 6 rounds of competition, and the amount of time you'll have to talk about your favorite picks increase as the competition goes on. So the first 2 rounds, you'll have a minute. The third round, you'll have 2 minutes. Fourth round, you'll have 3 minutes. Fifth round, you'll have 4 minutes. And then the final round, you'll have 10 minutes. And this is the amount of time total for each head-to-head matchup.
Okay.
So we have, go ahead.
Oh, I just said okay. This sounds really exciting.
Yeah. So it's going to be lightning rounds in the very beginning. There might be tears, there might be blood, as we have
Mhm.
picks that shouldn't be facing each other in the first round, or so we might think. It could get really messy early on, but as it goes on, we'll have more time to discuss why we think the movie is good or not. One other point that I'd like to talk about is how I gave the ratings for these movies. So there, as in March Madness style, there are 4 number 1 seeded teams, 4 number 2, 4 number 3, and so on and so forth. And number 1 is going to face a number 16. And you'll see in a minute, I'm going to share my screen and you'll see all the picks that we have and you'll see who they're slated up against. How we did the ratings is I took everybody's top 25 favorite movies. Any duplicates that there were, I only included one of them. So there's not going to be doubles of Star Wars or what have you. So any duplicates, there's only one of. And I did have to drop a few movies from, I think I just dropped them from my list. I don't remember. I dropped a few because we still didn't have the perfect number of 64, and I wanted to have that. So there are some of our top 25s that are not on this list, but they were at the bottom of the selections that we made. Then I took those and I gave them a rating based on their IMDb score. As Luis Guzman was known for starring in IMDb. And I used their Rotten Tomatoes score, specifically the audience side,
That's
not
good.
the critics.
Yeah, who cares about
So,
the critics, honestly?
yeah, who cares about the critics? This is about the
Yeah.
people. This is a game for the people.
For the people. By
So
the
we have Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb, and I combined those. Now, there is a little bit of a difficulty with one of the people who selected movies here, and some of their picks were not represented on IMDb or Rotten Tomatoes, and that was Josh. Josh has some picks in here that I couldn't actually get a really good representative score for. So those are just going to be some of the bottom picks, Josh.
It is
And
what it
that's
is.
why you can air out your grievances at the end and get upset at me for that. But you're going to have some of yours that are very low just because I didn't have anything to go off of as far as scoring them. But it gives you a chance to plug them at least a little bit.
Hmm.
So that's how it's going to go. So Josh and Paxton, any questions about this tournament?
No, I'm just really excited to get into it. This is gonna be
Okay.
hopefully very spicy. This
Okay.
will be fun.
And Josh is going to be keeping track of the time. So each matchup that we do, Josh, in the beginning, I'll let you know when to start it.
Mhm.
And for this first round, this is the 64 team round. This is round number 1. There is 1 minute to discuss.
Okay.
So if you want to
Oh
pull
man.
out a timer and get it ready to talk about 1 minute, I am going to give you guys maybe like 5 minutes. You know what? No. Let's discuss what we like about movies. Or how do you guys want to do this? There are two ways. I can jump scare you and surprise you with the bracket right now so you can see that. Or you guys can talk about what you like at movies and then I'll show you the list and then we'll get right into the tournament.
I feel like we should
Well,
talk
what do you
about what we like about movies
Okay,
first and
so
then
Agreed.
let's
jump
so let's
into it.
go there. So let's start with Josh, then we'll go Paxton, and then myself. Just take a few minutes to talk about your interest in movies and
Okay.
what. Yeah.
So top of mind, I think I like action. I uh like drama, thrillers. Recently been kind of dabbling in horror, but it's not very representative in my list. I like things that are really emotional, really evoke any sort of emotion in me. And soundtrack is really important, probably in the top three most important metrics. Um, yeah, so graphics, soundtrack, and plot. Plot. It doesn't have. There doesn't have to be a very like world-shattering plot to make me like a movie. Like it doesn't have to be how this person saves the world. I don't really particularly care about that stuff, but more something as simple as day-to-day interactions is enough to get me to like a movie. So, um, yeah, that's just top of mind. Those are some of the metrics.
All right.
Okay.
Thanks, Josh. And obviously, more of that will come out when you start discussing the movies themselves. Paxton.
Yeah, I've been watching movies for quite a long time now. This is a very big passion of mine. So, but I like my music taste. I like a lot of different things. I like action, I like adventure, I like thrillers, I like horror. So, my palate's, I can stomach pretty much anything. I think some of my favorites are probably gonna be some pretty big name brand trilogies, just because I like big adventures with big storylines and like big conclusions and stuff. So you're gonna see a lot of that coming out from me, and that's mostly from just growing up on it and just living in that as a kid, and how that has stuck with me throughout the years.
All right. Thanks, Paxton. Yeah, this is kind of a weird thing when thinking about it of like what I use as a criteria for a movie that I like, and especially like how much I like it compared to others, because you're obviously pulling at least myself and probably you guys from different genres, and you're using different criteria in those genres. So like comedy, it's probably how
Mm,
much does it make you laugh, right? It might not be a great story, it might not be like even great cinematically, but it's just you thought it was really funny. The jokes really landed with you. So there are things like that that
but it's so subjective.
it's
So
Mhm.
almost this different area of criteria for the genre that you're watching. So it becomes a little bit weird. The base thing for me when rating movies is very subjective and it's just was it entertaining for me? Like how much did it entertain me most of the time when watching movies? But there is kind of similar to what Josh said, a how much emotion did it evoke out of me? Like did it make me cry? Did it make me angry? Did it make me like did it make me think? Like, there are
mhm.
some movies that
That's a really
really
good
make
point.
me think afterwards. So, it's kind of how it affected me afterwards as like I guess you could think about it as how much are you discussing this movie with your friends afterwards? Like, do you
Mhm.
go to people and you wanna talk about it?
That's a
And
really
it's
good point.
hard for me yeah, but it's hard to know, like, exactly what I'm valuing. Like, what do I put as, like, a higher, like, art I would think that characters and character development is really important to me, but I actually don't know. And so maybe going through this tournament, maybe I'll start realizing that, oh man, like I'm not using the argument that the characters were good to try to argue why I like this movie. So
Mhm.
maybe there'll be a little bit of a reveal of what we use when we go through it.
I really
But
agree with something you tapped into there. And like when I'm measuring a movie of how much it truly does matter on all-time movies I love, is how much did it stick with me? How much did it change me? Because there's a lot of really good movies that I watch and I forget about. So it's
Mhm.
like
Mhm.
I didn't really like it that much, but there's some movies I watch and it sticks with me for months, years, and I want to watch it again and relive
yeah,
that. And those are the movies that stand out, the goods from the greats, ones that really stick with you and resonate with you, that
Mm.
you can really, connect with.
yeah, definitely. Like, like The Room and Moonfall. These are movies that
Oh yeah.
resonate with you and stick with
Those are
you.
that's the grand final. You told them the grand final. The script's
Man,
out. It's
Jacob.
leaked. They
Yeah.
know. They
I'm
know the
sorry.
grand
All right.
final.
Let's just call it there.
Yeah.
Um,
The
I
reveal's
actually,
over.
okay, I thought about putting those ones in here just as just a joke, a meme. But I didn't. I just stuck with
Yeah.
our choices. I was gonna put some weird ones in there if we didn't have enough
Yeah.
to make this list, or if there were too many duplicates. I I asked other friends for recommendations, and then I also had some weird, very meme like movies in here. But I
Mm.
took
Cool.
I took them out.
Okay.
We're being serious. All
Yep.
right. So with that, now is the time for the reveal itself.
This is
Mhm.
the first time we're seeing it, by the way. I have not seen
I
this
have no
bracket,
idea
so
what's gonna be.
I'm very, very excited to see this. All
All
right.
right.
We're
So
in.
I don't know how well
Huh.
you guys can see that.
Should I join the stream?
Let-
Are you ready?
Um,
What in the world? Holy, I've seen some movies on here.
All right, I'll join.
I'm gonna wait till we get to
hold
these
on.
movies.
I gotta fix my camera. Okay.
Ooh,
Are
boy.
both
What?
of these things shown right now? Can you guys see everything?
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. Okay. So hold on. Is it still showing?
Yep.
My screen's
Yep.
being weird, but all right. As long as everybody can see the bracket, um,
Holy moly, this will be fun. Really
there are
appreciate
a
it.
lot of things on here. I'll give you guys a second to kind of take it in.
No, I think we should just jump right into it.
I
I don't
want
know.
to I want to mention something really quick here that is very interesting, a pattern that I noticed, and that is our friend Josh
Mhm.
and his selections. He has the highest percentage of movies in the top rated and the highest percentage of movies in the lowest rated sphere.
Interesting.
So
Interesting.
I don't know what that means, but some of these animated movies, Josh, that you like get just insane ratings on IMDb and Rotten
Ridiculously
Tomatoes.
low
So,
ones.
so
There's
we
a
have
very weird
Demon
lineup ahead.
Slayer, Spirited Away, and Violet Evergarden as as three number one seeds in this bracket.
Huge.
And
Nice.
they are sharing the number one seed with Shawshank Redemption, which
That's
is wild.
that's the
That is
number one of
interesting.
all time, right? According to IMDb, I think. I don't know about Rotten
Okay.
All
Tomatoes.
right,
Yeah.
well, are we
Okay,
ready?
so with
Yeah.
that, let us start off the bracket. How we're going to do this. I think now this we have a little bit of leeway. This is going to be the last kind of talking about how we want to do this before we begin. Do we want to run through one side of this list or just go through all the top picks first? I think it's going to
I
be
like going
easier.
lines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's going to be easier for me if we just go down the line. So
Yes.
Agreed.
Let's
that's
do
what
that.
we're starting with. All right, Josh. So get ready to start the timer. Our first matchup is going to be, and I'll zoom in a little bit so we can actually see
Okay.
these a little better, is Shawshank Redemption versus Dr. Horrible's Sing Along blog.
Okay, whose picks were
Um,
these? Whose picks?
Unfortunately, both of these were my picks. So
Okay.
I'm
So,
going to be
so
voting one of mine out.
you're gonna have to. I haven't seen either of these, so you have to
Josh,
tell
start the
me.
timer.
Okay.
You have to
Josh,
explain to
have you
me which
seen
one.
either one of
I have
these?
not seen either of these.
Okay.
Oh, this is interesting.
Dr. Horrible's Sing Along blog is a 40-minute YouTube movie that was made during a writer's strike of 2008, and it was just the actors having fun with making a comedy. It is hilarious. It has Neil Patrick Harris in it, and it has oh man, I forget his name, Nathan Fillion in it. Shawshank Redemption is a prison break movie that is
Oh, I know that.
groundbreaking and represents The struggles through prison, somebody who is wrongly accused. It is a
Mhm.
great story. It is a great, like, these two can't be more polar opposite, where one is just put together very quickly, friends having fun, and the other is like a masterpiece of like
That's got
prison psychology.
let's get that one guy, that one actor, Tom
Thanks.
Yeah.
Tom
No,
Hanks.
no, 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 no. Not Tom Hanks.
He's not one of the guards.
Oh man, no. Tom Hanks isn't in it. I'm
Time's up.
I'm going Shawshank.
dead.
I'm going Shawshank.
I'm gonna guess Shawshank as well.
I vote
That's it.
Shawshank too.
That's a winner.
Okay, that was. I mean, I'm not too sad about that one.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
All right.
just better.
This is
All right. So now we have the 8 versus the 9 seed, which is Inglorious Bastards versus Pirates of the Caribbean.
That's such a weird lineup. These are both mine, I assume, unless someone else put them up here.
I
gonna
had
start-
Inglorious Bastards as well.
I don't know
Inglorious
any of these.
Bastards is such a good retelling of World War II. It's one of the. It's like it's very entertaining. But Pirates of the Caribbean also is like Pirates of the Caribbean, and it's amazing and probably one of my favorites of all time.
Josh, have you seen these?
Nope, neither. Well, I've seen some Pirates of the Caribbean, but I don't think I've seen the full list.
I don't know how to describe Inglorious Bastards in 1 minute. That in less than a minute. That's impossible.
Yeah.
But it's way more artistic and creative than Pirates of the Caribbean. Pirates of the Caribbean is a movie that like everybody loves and everybody thinks is great. Inglorious Bastards is like that was like incredible, but some people will hate this.
Very
Mhm.
controversial. More controversial, that's for sure.
But I think it's funnier. I think it's more just it's brilliant. And Pirates of the Caribbean is just like a fun adventure.
Okay.
But
I'm
I'm
Which one are
voting
you going?
Inglorious Bastards. I'm just putting it out there.
Me too.
Okay, I'm going Pirates just because it needs some love, and that's a
Needs
little.
some love.
It's a little sad. It's going out in the first round. I
Time's
think
up.
that's actually kind of ridiculous, but
This is yep. This is the pains. The pains. Feel it, Paxton. Is absorb it and
yeah.
move on, and you can talk about it later.
Stomach it for later.
Okay.
We start.
So Josh is gonna have to help me with this one, and you can start the timer after I introduce him
Okay.
because I have a little bit in the introduction. So number 5 seed of Ip Man versus number 12, and what is it, Josh?
It's called Kara no Kyokai.
Okay. I have seen Ip Man, and that was my selection.
I've seen it.
Paxton has as well. So
Okay.
Josh,
How many have you seen?
have you seen Ip Man?
I've seen a couple of scenes. I've never seen the full thing, but yeah, it's a great martial arts movie.
Mm.
It looks amazing.
There's
Okay,
4 of them too.
Explain your show, Josh.
All right, I'm gonna start the timer. So Kara no
Ready?
Kyokai is like, it's there's 7 movies, and it's about this girl who gets these demon, what's it called? These eyes of depth perception, where she can see the set of moves that she needs to perform to execute someone else, and like there's a lot of like magic and fantasy going on. It takes place in another franchise's world, so there's sort
Why
of
do you
like
like it?
the fight scenes, awesome animation, the stories, the interactions between the characters. There are some characters that are like going through very difficult times and solving, like, destroying these demons that are afflicting other people, and it's really lots of action, and it's good music as well. So that's it. Yeah.
Oh boy, I love it, man. It's a classic. So
Yeah.
I don't
I
think
think-
you can.
I think I would love the show Josh is talking about, but sorry,
Yeah.
Josh. This is
Understand.
I'm going
a
in.
time where there's pain, and I think Ip Man is.
Ip Man is so good.
Understand.
Oh, 9's on here. Wait, who put 9?
That was me.
This is Josh. Okay.
You like
So-
9?
I love 9.
Wow.
Okay. So we have the number 4, which is Goodwill Hunting, versus number 13, which is 9. I put down Goodwill Hunting. Josh put down 9. All right. Josh, go ahead and start the timer.
Yep. It's starting. I'll defend
Okay.
9, I guess. I know I've watched 9 maybe 2 or 3 times. I remember watching it when I was like 11 or 12. It was definitely a very shocking movie to watch as a child. It dealt with the problem of, or the idea, the concept of separating the soul from the body and surviving apocalypses as humans by doing that separation and like reintegrating the soul back into the vessel that is the body. And that was such
Okay.
an epic thing.
That sounds incredible, but I'm going to interrupt you because
Go
I
ahead.
want to plug mine. Paxton, have you seen Goodwill Hunting?
I have not. No, I need to
Okay,
write it down.
so Goodwill Hunting is one of Robin Williams' greatest performances. Also, Matt Damon is in it, and he does an amazing job. It's about a young kid who has a terrible past where his foster father beat him up, and he's got a lot of mental problems, but he's also a math prodigy and a genius. And he works at MIT as a janitor and
Time's
like
up.
solves an incredible problem.
Oh boy.
Oh my goodness, that
dude,
sucks.
I'm going 9. I'm sorry. I'm
Let's
seeing parts
go!
of 9. I
No,
love 9.
no.
I'm sorry. I
You
love
love
9.
it too. Nice. Okay.
It sounds like a good.
I'm so mad at you guys.
I will
I
watch
should have
it sometime
interrupted
with you.
Josh.
I will watch sometime with you. I promise.
Oh, I'm so mad. I am so mad. Oh my god. Okay, we're moving on. Oh jeez.
That was rough. I'm
This
sorry,
is
dude.
going to be in my grievances. I'm going to talk about Good Will Hunting because I was not prepared that 9 would beat this, and
You weren't emotionally prepared for this.
I was not
Yeah.
emotionally prepared for
Okay.
this.
Okay. Inception.
All right,
versus-
so number 6, Inception versus what is it, Josh?
Makia when the promised flower blooms.
Okay, I believe we have all seen Inception, correct?
Yes.
Yep.
It's a masterpiece. There's not a lot to say. The performances are amazing. This
So,
is my
I
pick. Did
think
anyone else
the-
put it? Did anyone else put this on here? Or was it just me?
I
That
did.
was me. Yeah, I
Nice,
put it too.
nice.
I put it too.
Wait, oh, so this should be.
So,
this is
Josh,
good.
this might be a really quick one. Is there any
Yeah.
reason why the other
Why
one
we should change our
be
mind?
better?
On my personal list, I have Makia higher than Inception, believe it or not.
Can you change our minds?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try that. So basically, Makia is a story about a group or a race of humans that are immortal, and this human has their village ransacked, and so this woman wanders and finds a civilization, finds a baby that was abandoned, and becomes its mother, and finds meaning in her life by doing so. But the woman outlives the child and sees the child throughout his entire lifespan, deals with all sorts of different situations, learns how to be a mother, because there's no sort of motherhood thing when everyone's immortal in the other village. So it's a really heartwarming story, and it's like beautiful music, beautiful animation. Yeah, can't really. You have to see it to believe me, I guess.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the best I could do.
It sounds like a great movie, dude, but Inception is literally one
Understandable.
of my favorite movies of all time. Like, it's a visually impressive movie. The
Thumbs up.
actors all are incredible. The story has such a good twist. Inception all the way. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Like,
that's a
there's
rough
not-
matchup.
there's not much movies out there that could.
You would have
compete
had to
with
like
Inception for
shock me with what you said.
Understandable.
I love Inception.
It's
I'm
a
sorry.
novel idea. I think the plot was a really cool idea, but yeah, Inception's. I can understand Inception.
You can accept it.
I can accept that.
Star Wars versus Moses. What is this? What kind of scuffed matchup is this?
Okay.
Oh
so-
man.
We have one of the Bible's most notable characters, Moses,
Going up against-
matching up against Star
Star Wars.
Wars.
Who put Moses? Raise your
That
hand.
was me.
Is it the
Josh.
animated one?
Yeah. Did you?
What is the name of that movie, Josh?
I think Moses, the Prince of Egypt.
Okay.
I've seen it.
Was it just me
Okay.
that put it on? Was it just me?
It was just
yeah.
you that put it on.
Okay.
It's a good
we
movie.
We all have seen this movie. It actually, yeah, it's a great movie. Go ahead. I think we don't need to talk about these too much, other than, I don't know if we mentioned it, but when we say Star Wars, we're talking about all of Star Wars.
There is some bad
But
that goes in there. There's
there
some
is
stinky
some bad
that goes in there.
which is why Star Wars is a 3 and not a 1 seed.
Yeah.
But we can, like myself, basically say there are certain Star Wars movies that I don't even consider part of Star Wars, and so I give it
Ish.
more credence because
Okay,
of that.
we need a.
Josh, go
Yeah.
ahead and start the timer.
Oh, I started it already. I'm gonna
Did you
reset
have-
it.
Oh, okay.
I'll reset it.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to mention that when we talk about a trilogy, when we talk about a show, we're talking about the whole series.
Okay.
I don't know if I mentioned that. I think I did. Now go ahead and start it.
Okay. Yeah. So.
I do.
Oh, go ahead. Thanks.
I was just gonna say I like both of these, so it's gonna be a little bit of a tough choice. But I mean, as far as nostalgia and memories, it's pretty easy. Although Moses is a great film, it is
Oh,
animated classic.
interesting.
So
I have a lot of great things to say about
I will
it.
put one plug for A Prince of Egypt is that the music and the soundtrack
Oh
is
my gosh.
incredible on it.
Okay. Let me put this as well. This was made in 1998. Moses was, and consider the scene where the water gets parted, and consider just the like all around animation of the entire film. 1998. That was incredible. Like animation was like that. Yeah, it was incredible. It's also got a nostalgia factor for me. Like watching it basically like once a month at my family's place. So
Wow.
yeah,
That's awesome.
and I didn't watch all of the Star Wars movies, so I'm kind of that's why I'm gonna lean towards Moses.
Understandable. I love them both. It's pretty. I mean, Star Wars
Yeah.
is my childhood. Like, it's got so many bangers, and there are some bad ones, but the good ones do outweigh the bad. So,
Okay, well
Yeah,
that's
this one's easy for me. It's Star
Star
Wars.
Wars.
okay.
All right. So now we have this is a Paxton versus Jacob matchup. We
Ooh.
have the Truman Show at number 7 versus Mel Gibson's We Were Soldiers at number 10. The Truman Show starring Jim Carrey.
You want to go
Josh,
first or
have
me?
you seen these?
I've seen neither.
Okay, so go ahead and start the timer.
Okay.
Sure,
I'll
Pax,
go.
go first.
I'll go first. This stars one of my favorite comedy actors of all time, Jim Carrey. It sets in a place where this guy, his whole life is being recorded on a television show, but he doesn't know it's a television show. So it's him kind of discovering that his whole life is just him on cameras being broadcast to the whole world. It's a comedy. It's a drama. It has so many great moments. But yeah, I really like it. It's funny that like there's so many funny scenes where he's like discovering that it's like that's not how normal people talk because like people are trying to do ads in front of him because it's his life, but he doesn't know that his life's TV. It's great show. Great movie.
Okay, I'm going to interrupt you. That was 30 seconds. We Were Soldiers is a movie about the Vietnam War, and one of the main characters in it is a journalist who goes and tries to take pictures of the war and give the war the perspective of just an outsider of what war is like so he can bring that to the people. And in the movie, there are times where he actually puts down his camera and picks up a gun and fights with people. And this is based off of a true story as well. So it shows some of the horrors of war. It shows somebody trying to capture war and then decides, you know what, today there's nobody who isn't a soldier, and he picks up a gun to fight.
Thumbs up.
Truman Show.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I can't say war stories are my particular interest. I'm gonna have to go Truman Show.
Yes. Jim Carrey lives on. Let's go. Come on, Jake. That's a good movie, right? You like it?
It is okay. I
Okay.
do like the Truman Show.
Okay.
It is a good movie.
Okay, I'm
but
glad you
We
like
Were
it.
Soldiers is one of my favorite war movies.
I'm sorry.
I'm just losing. I'm the one that's losing out in the own format that I made.
All right.
Okay.
Wait, put Scott Pilgrim on here.
Yeah. So
Who
now
did
we
that?
have number 2,
Not me.
Godzilla -1, Josh's selection versus Jacob's Scott Pilgrim versus the World at number.
Why is that on
15,
here?
Because it is an amazing movie.
It is.
It is one of the movies that makes me
Okay,
laugh.
start the timer.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, start the timer. Scott Pilgrim versus the World makes me laugh more than most movies, and that's why I put it on here. It's like a gamified, like just think of a retro video game in real life, and that's what it's like. Like people come to fight you, and when you destroy them, they turn into coins, and there are just hilarious moments
Josh,
of
go.
battles.
Okay. For Godzilla -1, hopefully, I know Pax has seen it. I don't know if Jacob has seen it, but it's an amazing, epic movie. It's got an actual plot line, and Godzilla looks amazing for CGI.
Unlike most movies.
And the actual character interactions were really nice. The way that they took down the monster and just the sound design, the sound engineering is amazing. Like when Godzilla would like shoot stuff out, or when he's like splashed in the water, it felt like there were tremors. Like they really envisioned it as an actual like hulking monster. But yeah, that's all the time I have.
Okay, you guys both vote for your movies?
Yeah,
yeah, only
Godzilla.
because I haven't seen Godzilla.
I love both those films. Godzilla -1's great. It's probably my favorite Godzilla movie of all time. But I'm going Scott Pilgrim versus the World because it has my top 3 favorite actor in there. I love.
Man,
dude!
I thought you were gonna rail on Scott Pilgrim because
I've seen it with you. What are you talking about? It was a good movie.
Yeah.
I've seen it a few times. It's a good movie. I like it.
No, but
it's
I
funny.
thought you were gonna pick Godzilla. That's a surprise for me.
Paxton, top 3 favorite. What did you say?
The actor, and I can't remember his name.
Oh.
Michael.
Okay.
What's his name? Michael
Cera.
Cera. He is amazing. He's a 1 in a million actor.
Cool,
No
cool.
one's like him. He's his own guy.
He plays the son in Arrested Development.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. All right, so we're moving on back to a number 1 seed. We have now. This is going to be tragic for Josh because this is Demon Slayer Mugen Train at number 1 versus number 16
What?
Journey to the Center of the Earth.
Why
right.
is it?
Paxton, have you seen? Okay, first, Josh, before we start the timer, which Journey to the Center of the Earth is this?
Oh,
The
there's
Rock?
more than one? Oh.
Yeah.
I don't. No, not the one with the Rock. It's the one with Josh Hutcherson.
Oh, the old one.
Yeah, that's the one I saw.
Actually, so I looked it up, and this one was hard to rank because the old one um got a decent rating, and the new one got a terrible rating. So I kind of
Mm.
just put it in the middle, and it was still a 16 seed
Oh.
compared to the other ones. So go ahead and start the timer, Josh.
Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna make my case for Demon Slayer. I think have both of you seen Center of the Earth?
Yeah.
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 Long time
Okay,
ago,
cool.
long time ago.
So the thing with Demon Slayer, I'm assuming Jacob has watched this because it's a legendary anime movie.
I have.
It's especially the climax at the end. Okay, the fight scenes are incredible. Animation's incredible. It's ufotable. The best studio in my opinion of all time. And just the ending with like there's a very critical plot twist and surprise at the end, and it's so emotionally moving. And the sun is rising, and there's just like overwhelming rage and like anger at this one specific character for doing something so terrible. Like the bonds you get for these characters, it's hard to fully express. The fighting is incredible. Like I can't
Which
fully
one do you want us
express.
to vote for?
I would vote for Demon Slayer because it's better than Center of the Earth.
Okay. I'll do
Um,
Demon Slayer.
that's all.
This one was I was letting Josh talk, but this one is easy for me. I would vote Demon Slayer.
I was gonna say, Journey to the Center of the Earth is like the most mid movie ever, so you just have to make it sound like semi interesting, and I'll vote for it. Like
I like that
So-
movie too.
okay.
But yeah.
But that one was kind of a beat up. Demon Slayer just beat up on the center of
Yeah.
the earth.
Don't even
So,
watch Center of the Earth.
there you go.
Doesn't serve me up.
Anime is superior to real life. That's what we
What?
learned.
What
It is what it
a, this next lineup is
All
trash.
right.
This is
Now we
trash.
have the number 8, which is the war movie 1917 versus, and that was Paxton's pick. That was also a dark horse pick, meaning people outside of the three of us voted for 1917. So Paxton was the only one in this group, but I had other people that I consulted. And 1917 was a very popular one. Versus number 9, my selection, Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
What?
All right, start the
There
timer.
couldn't
Start the
be
timer.
two opposite movies right
No.
now.
Okay.
Facing off.
You want to go first on this one?
I'll go first. I said Scott Pilgrim versus the World is one of the movies I've laughed the most in. I have laughed more in Tucker and Dale versus Evil than Scott Pilgrim versus the World. It is about college kids who go out to the wilderness and two hillbillies, Tucker and Dale, who go out as well. And the college kids think Tucker and Dale are like serial killers, but Tucker and Dale think the college students are going out to the woods to commit suicide. And so the kids keep accidentally dying by jumping into like a wood chipper, and Tucker and Dale are like, why are these kids jumping into a wood chipper?
Okay,
And the
okay,
college kids are like,
All right, so 1917. I've seen Tucker Dale. It's a great movie. It's funny. 1917 is amazing because the whole movie is done in one shot. You can see the entire journey from beginning to end. The camera never blinks. You watch their entire
Ooh.
journey. It's incredibly unique. It's the first time I've ever seen a movie like that. I think it might be the only one that ever did it. It's amazing. It's crazy how they made the whole movie so entertaining, and yet the scene never changes. You just follow them as they walk across the landscape and engage in combat and stuff.
That's
it's
really cool.
It's heart wrenching. I mean, it's really good. Music's incredible. I love it.
Okay, time's up.
1917.
all right, I vote Tucker and Dale.
Honestly, war movies, I can't do it. I can't. It's not me. It's gotta be Tucker and Dale.
Man, I'm not that heartbroken. It is a funny movie.
It sounds funny. Yeah.
I have seen 1917, and it is a good movie, but Tucker and Dale is amazing too. All right, now we have number 5 ranked Logan, Paxton's choice, and number 12 ranked iRobot, which was my choice. Josh, have you seen either of these?
Can you repeat the title for Logan? What was it again?
It's just Logan.
Just Logan. Okay. Yeah, I think I've seen some scenes from iRobot. I've never seen Logan.
Okay, Paxton, I'll let you go first this time.
Did you vote for Logan, by the way, Jake?
Did I vote for it? No.
Yeah,
I
really?
didn't have
Okay.
it on my list. Yeah.
Okay. Logan is a very gritty, very dark superhero movie about Wolverine, about him confronting his past and taking a journey with a little mini version of himself, this little girl. It's not like The Last of Us, kind of that Joel Ellie, but it's, Logan and another person. And it's really cool, really fun. I think it's my favorite superhero movie of all time just because it's not over the top and very actiony. It's a lot more dark and gritty and drama-like. And yeah, I really like it.
Okay, I, Robot is a movie that kind of explores the idea of what would it look like if humans started relying on AI and robotics. And there's people who complain that robots are taking people's jobs, and so they're bad. But then there's a murder that happens, and it's by a robot. And so the detective tries to figure out, why was there a program that allowed murders to kill people when they have rules that don't allow them to do that? And so it explores the idea of robotics. Is this actually helpful for humanity as well,
Hmm.
along with a lot of other themes? But it is a movie where things escalate and the robots end up in mass taking over,
Okay,
and then they have to fight against them.
I see. I see.
I've seen it. It's also very good. It's got Will Smith.
Both of these movies are really good. Yeah, I am voting for iRobot.
I think
Logan.
iRobot. I have to go. That sounds more interesting to me personally.
Okay, this one is interesting. Wow. Okay, so this is number 4, The Princess Bride, classic movie, versus number 13, a strange one called Minecraftian. Um, are we okay? First of all, what have you guys seen? I have only seen The Princess Bride. That was
Only
my
seen The Princess
selection.
Bride.
I've seen both.
Josh has seen both. Okay, Josh, go ahead and start the timer, and I'll let you describe Minecraftian.
Okay, so the Minecraftian is, as you can tell by the name, a movie in Minecraft. So you might think, is it just a first-person view? No, actually, the filming that was done for this is so amazing. Like, there's probably a secondary person following along perfectly this character, and there's plot to this movie as well. So essentially, there's a person who needs money, and so he volunteers at this laboratory and gets sent to the future, like 3,000 years later. There's no remnant of any human civilization. This person does the Minecraft thing, builds a house, finds a dog, whatnot, and then discovers that there's an underground bunker and there's these cryogenically frozen humans that are being, I don't know, like immorally tested on, and then there's this like dark overlord thing. And so what he does is he frees all of them and he revives them, fights the dark overlord, sacrifices himself, jumps into a lava pit, and frees them and restarts humanity. The end.
Oh wow, I'm impressed you got through all of that.
Cool concept. Very cool concept.
I think we all know
Man.
what's happening here, though.
Yeah. I mean, I'm
Yeah,
tempted.
it
I am
is what it
tempted. I
is.
won't lie. I am tempted, but Princess Bride is Princess Bride. There's not much.
I'm going
It's
Minecraftian. I
iconic.
still think it's better.
It's way too iconic.
Yeah, I go Princess Bride. Sorry, Josh. This has happened to me, and it's now happening to you.
It is what it is.
Yeah, Logan went
You
out the
can
first
you can
round.
discuss it more in your grievances. All right. Now we move on to number 6, Pan's Labyrinth, which was my selection, versus number 11, Astro Boy, which was Josh's selection. All right, Josh. I will let you take this away.
I haven't seen either, so you guys are
Oh
trying
yeah,
to convince
have
me.
you seen both, Josh,
I've
or have
not
you
seen
only seen?
Pens.
Okay, I have not seen Astro Boy. I did watch the latest Netflix original, which was based off of Astro Boy. I think
Hmm.
it was called Pluto. And it's based off of one of the characters that came from the Astro Boy universe.
Cool.
But anyway, so I am a little bit familiar with Astro Boy, but I've only seen Pan's Labyrinth. So
Okay.
go ahead, start the timer.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Astro Boys is a movie. I think it was. I watched it as a kid. It was my favorite movie of all time for a very long time. And it's about this kid who accidentally dies in a science experiment, gets revived as a robot by this scientist with his helper, and man, there's so much to this. Like the
30
father
seconds.
has to
30
deal.
seconds.
Yeah, the father has to deal with
Oh,
imagining the kid is his own. The robot sacrifices himself for humanity, and I'll leave it there. There's too much.
Okay.
There's too much.
Pan's Labyrinth is a dark story of the Spanish Civil War, and one of the little girls who is in one of the families ends up surviving the horrors of war by imagining a fantasy world around her. So the things that are happening in this movie, you're not sure if they're real life or fantasy because it's from the little girl's perspective, and she creates this fantasy along that helps her deal with horrors of war. And in the end, she either dies or doesn't die, and it's up to you to decide.
Time's up.
I'm just gonna go with the one I want to watch more, and that's Pan's Labyrinth.
Understandable.
I go Pan's Labyrinth.
I think this is all coming down to who can make their movie seem more appealing. Like that's all it is.
It's part of the trick, though. It's part of the trick of
Yeah.
this tournament, and I never knew how it was going to go. It's at some points going to have matchups that we've all seen, all the movies. I think. I don't know if that's happened yet. Actually, no. Inception. We had all seen Inception. I think that was the only one.
Mhm.
All right. So this one is Saving Private Ryan at number 3 versus Die Hard at number 14.
I've not seen either.
I am just going to end this one quickly and say that I think Saving Private Ryan is a better movie overall. I really enjoy Die Hard, but I'm just going to vote for Saving Private Ryan, and we don't even need to do a timer on this.
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
And we can talk about it.
I like Die Hard too, but I think Ryan's better.
Yeah, I think it's objectively better. I have a lot of fun with Die Hard, but I think Saving Private Ryan's better.
Oh, this is a sad round.
This matchup kills me. It hurts me to the core that one of these movies is getting out in the very first round. I was
okay. Start the timer.
Saw this.
Okay.
Yeah, start the timer. When I saw this, I was so sad. I think John Wick is a superior movie.
I agree.
Experience.
And here's what I'll say. John Wick has 4 amazing films. A Quiet Place has 1 good one and 1 mediocre one. Like Quiet Place Part 2 is not a great film. John Wick kept it consistent the whole way and finished on such a high. Like I like it's just that.
I will say, yeah, I think both Paxton and I are voting John Wick, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I will say A Quiet Place, I think Josh might actually like more. Josh,
I've watched both of these, but I've only watched the first John Wick, and I think the first John Wick is better than The Quiet Place anyways. So
oh wow. Okay.
yeah, there you go.
It's just sad to me that A Quiet Place goes out.
It was a great
really
movie.
good.
Yeah.
I love it.
Good movie.
Yeah. This was a matchup where I was like, oh, that's tragic.
That's rough.
Okay, this is a very strange matchup at number 2 versus 15. We have The Usual Suspects versus number 15 Cars. Have you guys seen both of these?
I've not seen Usual Suspects.
Only Cars.
Okay, so I will go first for 30 seconds to describe The Usual Suspects. The Usual Suspects is a crime-based movie where it's told from the perspective of one of the people who were arrested, recalling the story of what happened in this heist, and the detective trying to figure out who is responsible for the heist, who is the mastermind. And it is a brilliantly done storyline that has one of the greatest plot twists at the end. So this is so hard to discuss because what makes this movie great is it has an amazing ending that is second only to Code Geass's ending.
Yeah, nice. That's pretty good then.
That's my argument.
I'll go with Cars. I really do like Cars, and it was on my list. So, Cars, yeah, it's like super popular. Everyone knows about it. I'm pretty sure all of you've watched it, and it's a great kids movie, animated, and it talks about this. I mean, to just abstract it, it's like this really arrogant character that's highly competitive, gets stranded in a village or like a community, and these are like humble, hardworking, like low middle class characters, and this character learns like how to like humble himself and starts like being like learning how to develop his character, and it's like cars are cool. I like watching cars that are fast as well, so there's that as well. But
I think it's time.
Yeah, that's it.
Oof. I go Usual Suspects.
Cars.
I've seen Cars, but Jake, you really did. He sold me. I'm going Usual Suspects.
Actually, no,
really
I changed my mind. I changed my mind. I'm going Usual. No, I like plot twists. I'm gonna go Usual.
he made me sound like I want to watch that. Like I've seen Cars and I like it,
Yeah.
but like I really want to watch that movie now. So
Same.
All right, so now we are moving on to the other side of the bracket, and we're starting with this is wild. This is going to come down to me making the decision. We have Violet Evergarden the movie versus number 16 seeded Edge of Tomorrow. I'm just going to say, actually, just go ahead and start the time, Josh.
Okay.
This is Josh's Violet Evergarden the movie versus Paxton's Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay, Violet Evergarden is amazing. It's this story of an abandoned young girl who is orphaned and is a war machine, but was brought up by this army general or lieutenant. And this lieutenant mysteriously and disappeared, like missing in action from battle. So no one knows where he is. This movie discusses her coming to terms with not ever seeing him again, and there's so much spoils, but finding him
Okay,
and like
okay,
yeah,
okay.
that's it. Yeah,
I think I'm up against the wall here. I doubt I'm going to win this, but I do really love Edge of Tomorrow. It's a really fun movie. I think it's the best time twisting movie there is as far as like entertainment value because it's just really, really fun. Great action. The aliens are fun. Tom Cruise does a great job. Emily Blunt does a great job. Really fun movie. Yeah, I think I'm up against the wall on this one, but I do love Edge of Tomorrow, and that'll be my vote.
So I've actually seen Edge of Tomorrow, and I do love it, but I am voting Violet Evergarden.
likewise.
Okay.
I don't know why you made me do my spiel. I knew as soon as we got it, I was like, I'm not winning this.
Okay. This one is, well, Interstellar was on several lists, and The Greatest Showman was on Paxton's list. So we
I'm gonna
have
make it quick. I'm
Interstellar versus
just
The
going
Greatest Showman.
Interstellar. Like
I'm
I'm
going
not.
Interstellar.
Yeah, I'm not making a case for. I
Okay.
love the Greatest
Can we
Showman, but I
actually
can't.
can we at least just talk about it so that we don't like
So,
completely forget
yeah,
about it?
let's talk about The Greatest Showman. So I actually really like The Greatest Showman as well. It has a lot of amazing music and amazing music numbers and some very memorable ones.
Mm-hmm. It's the best musical that I've seen.
Oh, it's a musical. Okay,
It's a
It's
musical.
really
Yeah.
gotcha.
great message, great acting, great music.
Hugh Jackman and what's the other guy's name?
Oh my goodness.
The Ethan something?
No, it's not Ethan. I forget his name, but I know who you're talking
He
about.
played in High School Musical.
Yeah, I don't really guess his
Oh
name.
my goodness. Yeah.
Sorry.
My friends are gonna hate that I don't remember his name either. But
Unlucky.
Hugh Jackman's great. All right, we're moving on. Interstellar just kind of breezes through.
Yeah.
We can maybe talk about The Greatest Showman more, but it's a really good musical.
It is a really good movie, but it's not as good. Interstellar is just
All right.
amazing.
So now we have number 5, Wolf Children, which I believe was Josh's number 1 pick, but it was bumped down to number 5 because of the ratings. Versus number
Not good ratings.
12, my pick, The Mummy. The Mummy is a. Anyways,
The
go ahead
original?
and start the time.
Okay, I'll go with
The
Wolf
original or
Children.
Tom Cruise? The original or Tom Cruise?
The Mummy, the original with Brendan Fraser.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so Wolf Children is the best movie I've ever seen of all time. It's first of all, it's the best description of how a young woman comes to learn how to raise children, especially children who can turn into wolves. It's like there's so much thought put into all the different situations that a young mother might come into, especially when she's single. There's this whole plot line.
Dilemma.
Yes. Well, there's a whole plot line where the dad dies and she has to deal with that. Music is amazing, literally designed as if you're rocking a child to sleep. The pianist is amazing. That's it. I can't do more. Yeah, it's
I need
amazing.
to hear about the Mummy.
Yep.
Have you seen The Mummy? So The Mummy's Brendan Fraser, the original The Mummy, is just kind of a maybe like a feel-good exploration of ancient Egypt where a mummy comes alive. And it's just very a self-aware movie that knows that there are ridiculous things that are happening and it makes jokes about it. It's kind of just like an adventure action movie.
Yeah.
It's just a lot of fun.
Okay. I don't know. What are you guys voting?
Wolf Children.
What are you going, Jake?
I want to hear where you're going.
I don't know. If you're going with the children, then I'll just go with the children.
I'm going Wolf Children.
Okay, then I'll go Wolf Children.
Let's go.
Yeah. No, so a little secret is I actually watched Wolf Children for the first time the other day because Josh has been telling me about the movie for a while and I wanted to watch it and I was like, I should really watch it before the podcast. So I did. And The Mummy is fun. It's a really fun ride. It's also shout out to Moist Critical, Penguin Zero. It's his favorite movie of all time.
Oh,
is it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Or it's one of his favorites.
Sorry to have such an early exit.
Yeah, right. It's a really fun movie, but Wolf Children I think is objectively better.
Okay.
All right. This is gonna be weird. I don't know if either of you guys have watched either of these movies. These are both mine. So number 4 we have A Beautiful Mind, and number 13 we have Hotel Rwanda.
Okay.
Have you guys
I
seen either
haven't
one
seen
of
either.
these?
Haven't seen either.
I've only seen scenes of Beautiful Mind.
Okay, so I'll be really quick with both of them and just see how you guys vote. Hotel Rwanda is about the civil war between the Hutus and the Tutsis. It is about a real life event where there are these two groups of people. They they look exactly the same. You can't tell the difference between them. And they actually have to have ID cards to say whether or not you're a Hutu or a Tutsi. And there's this massive genocide that starts to take place. And that's kind of what the movie is about, the justice of it. Why are you doing this? And it digs into all that. A Beautiful Mind is about a mathematician who, oh man, this is another movie that has a crazy twist in it that I don't want to spoil for you if you haven't seen it. But he's very he socially doesn't get along with people, and it's kind of a book about like, or a movie about like just humanity and the difficulties and social problems that you have, especially if you're a genius that has social problems.
Yeah.
Beautiful Mind.
Okay.
I go
Personally,
Beautiful Mind.
I think personally, Beautiful Mind sounds way more interesting to me.
Yeah, same here.
Okay. Beautiful Mind it is.
What was your vote?
I would vote for A Beautiful Mind, but I wasn't 100% sure, and so that makes the decision easy for me.
Real quick, Jacob, did you have The Mummy on your list, or was that on Paxton's list?
The Mummy was on my list.
Okay, cool.
All right, so now we have number 6. This is another case of our own picks being pitted against each other. Number 6, we have Josh's I Want to Eat Your Pancreas versus Josh's number 11, Borat. Josh, I don't know where you had these listed among yours. I guess the first question, as always, is who has seen either one of these movies?
Seen Borat.
I've seen I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
Oh,
I have not
that'll
seen
be
Borat.
fun. Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I can give the rundown for both of these. I'll try to be
Go ahead.
objective.
Go for it.
Okay. So, I Want to Eat Your Pancreas is deceptively, the title doesn't really encapsulate the movie. The title means I want to eat your pancreas because I think your pancreas has the nutrients necessary for me to survive my terminal illness. And this girl is dying. This boy starts to get to know her. They have like they're starting to talk and talk about all the bucket list items they want to do before inevitably she dies. And she starts to get really close to him. The girl unexpectedly dies by a car crash, and so the boy's asking like, why, like, even though I know people will die eventually, every single moment matters. And he was gonna do something before, in the future, but she just died too quick. And so even in that case, you have to make every moment count. And Borat is a dark comedy. It's like the jokes are racist. They're really edgy, and it's hilarious. Very funny actor Sacha Baron Cohen. It's not for children.
Yeah.
That's the best I can say. Yeah. Yeah.
Whatever you vote for was gonna win, John. So
I am voting for it. I Want to Eat Your Pancreas.
Yeah, that's what I'm voting for. Is Borat a good movie?
I would say it's a great movie. It's the funniest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. I'll say that. But
it's not that.
No,
Funny.
no. It's the funniest movie I've ever seen.
Right,
but I value emotions more. Yeah.
We gotta save it for grievances. All right, Spider-Man, and this is specifically number 3, Spider-Man, the Miles Morales 2 series. So far, there's 2 of them. Versus number 14. Very, very surprising that Toy Story was this low on the public's opinion. So
Crazy.
both of these were Paxton's selection.
It's true.
I don't know where you have them ranked, but if you want to talk about them.
Yeah, real quick. Toy Story, I think, is the greatest Disney series of all time. I don't think that's a hot take. I think that's pretty widely agreed with. I love Toy Story, but I will be going with Miles Morales here just because the animation is out of this world on those, and it's like the most creative animation I've ever seen in those movies. And
Same. We don't need to talk
Spider-Man.
about it more. Toy Story is the GOAT of Disney. I would say that's not a hot take. That's a very good take. But I go with Spider-Man.
Likewise.
All right, we're moving on, and it's fine if we don't need a whole minute to discuss these. So if that happens, good. Number 7, Joker versus number 10, Harry Potter. Once
Ooh.
again, Paxtons are pitted against each other. This is a wild one.
Yeah,
Go
yikes.
ahead.
I don't even remember where they're ranked or which one I want to choose, so I'm just gonna have to spitball here.
Mhm.
Joker's amazing for being like diving into mental illness, and Harry Potter is one of the greatest adventures of all time series. As far as like, I mean, I love Joker, but Harry Potter it just has such a special place in my heart. Like that's my childhood. I can't go against that, so I'm going Harry Potter. And
Wow, I'm shocked by that. By how much you talked about Joker, I am shocked by
I
that.
was gonna vote
Harry
Joker actually.
Harry Potter is like, I mean, they didn't miss. They made 8 movies, and each 8 of them are worth watching. Like I
Wow.
can't ignore that fact. I can't ignore that they had such a good streak, and they put together, I mean,
Mm.
the best adaptation of the books you could have asked for of one of the most popular book series of all time. Like, yeah,
This is
yeah.
this is terrible because I am torn. I'm very surprised Josh thought Joker was better of the two. Josh, have you seen Harry Potter?
I have unfortunately no experience with Harry Potter, so
Okay. So I am also voting Harry Potter because we need to talk about Harry Potter more.
Yes, we do.
that's good. That's fine. Yep,
Wow, nice, Jake. Let's go.
that's clutch, Jake.
All right, so now we have number 2, Your Name, versus number 15, Forrest Gump. I believe Your Name was Josh's selection, and Forrest Gump was Paxton's selection. I have seen both of these.
Same.
Um,
You know what you're voting
and
for?
I love both of these, so I'm a little torn. So I'm gonna leave this up to you guys, a minute, 30 seconds each, to make your plugs.
Oh, 30 seconds. Okay, 1 second.
I mean, it's a minute. It's a minute total.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay. No, I just I don't know what I'm thinking. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I'll go first. So Your Name is, I think, it was an animated movie. It talks. Well, it's about a guy who lives in Tokyo and a girl who lives in some rural part of Japan, and they start to switch bodies and live as each other, and so they live in such radically different circumstances, and they start to get to know each other by passing notes, writing down messages on their arms and whatnot. It's kind of, there's some comedy in the beginning, but then they start to fall in love, and you ask the question like, there's so many people in the world. One of them is best meant for you. There's and like,
Okay.
yeah, that's it. I'll finish.
Okay, sorry. Forrest Gump, I think, is one of the greatest acting of all time. Tom Hanks doing, like, he plays this autistic character who goes to Vietnam and like starts a really successful business and does all this thing. I think it's super funny. I think it has amazing acting. I mean, you've seen it, obviously. I'm going Forrest Gump, although I think I'm going to lose this one. And I'm not. Forrest Gump is a very good movie, but it doesn't hold a super special place in my heart. But I'm definitely voting for it.
Okay, so here's the thing. I'm going Your Name. I'm about even on both of these, but I'm going Your Name because I felt like Josh did a better job, if I was being objective,
Yeah.
of making me interested.
Excellent.
Maybe that's because Your Name has a more interesting premise. So I go Your Name. Josh, I'm guessing you're
Yep.
going Your Name?
Yep.
All right. Okay. This one is actually going to be crazy. Josh, you're going to be super shocked and surprised by this. But we have number 1, Spirited Away, versus number 16, Instant Family. So this is the shocker, Josh, specifically for you. I have not seen Spirited Away.
What?
I know. For somebody who loves anime, I have not
seen it.
Spirited Away.
That's hilarious.
So
That's
this
funny.
is a Paxton versus Josh face off once again.
Okay, I'll start with Spirited Away. Spirited Away, I watched it as a kid. There's a very strong nostalgic value here. It's probably the first anime I've ever watched, actually. It's beautiful visuals. It's probably Studio Ghibli's like prize GOAT movie. It's about this child who learns, goes into this fantasy world, amazing fantasy world, and learns how to, like, there's some character development, but it's like not being greedy, trying to like take things and be content with them. That's really the theme with it.
Okay.
The end.
I've seen Spirited Away. It's a pretty good movie, but it's definitely overrated with how some people talk about it. It's a good movie, don't get me wrong. It's got some great visual stuff like that. Instant Family is very near and dear to my heart because it's about adoption, and I am adopted. And I've seen it with my parents. My parents love it. I love watching it with my parents. It's funny. It's got some great acting. It tells a story of how kids are, or like how these kids are supposed to start, like, how do I phrase this? Like they get this new adopted family, and like some of them like the adopted family, some of them want to go back to their other mom who's like a crack addict and stuff. But it's a really good movie.
Mm.
Love it. Uh, I like both these films, so but I'm definitely going Instant Family just because I love watching it with my parents.
Okay.
Josh.
I think I would go Instant Family. I think Paxton convinced me. I've never seen it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
Okay.
That type of story, that it brings out so much emotion, and I think that's like
Yeah.
I didn't really feel that with Spirited Away. It was more like a fantasy. Oh, that looks really pretty, and it's really like a favorable childhood memory watching that.
Oh,
But
dude,
Instant
this
Family
is-
was like that's really
I thought
This is
important.
the first, I believe. Let's look. Yeah, this is the first major upset of the top seeded team.
That's actually
losing.
crazy though,
Bottom.
because I did not think I didn't think I could convince you guys to vote for Instant Family.
You know what's even crazier? Is
What?
it's a sweep. I was gonna vote Instant Family
Really?
as
You
well.
were? Have you
It's
seen it? Have you seen it?
No, I haven't seen either one of these.
Oh, it's so good.
The way you
Well,
described it
well,
was really important, honestly.
Out valuable card.
Yeah.
The fact that this has such a personal
Hmm.
relationship with you, the fact that it was
Yeah.
about adoption and you were adopted, and I want to hear more about this movie. So I'm actually more invested in hearing about it than I am Spirited Away. I hate to say that.
No, same, 100%.
All right.
What an
That's-
upset.
What an upset.
That's crazy. 1
one of
versus
the
16
highest
and 16
rated-
wins.
Against a
Movies of
16.
all
Let's do a
time.
16.
1 versus 16. That's crazy.
Okay, we're moving on to
Yep.
number 8, Gladiator versus Fate Stay Night. Josh, you want to say the whole title?
This is the whole Heaven's Feel franchise. There are 3 movies. All right,
Okay.
Yep.
I have seen Gladiator. I have seen Fate Stay Night, but not this specific movie. Paxton, have you seen both of these? I'm guessing just Gladiator.
I don't know. I haven't seen Fate Stay Night. Just Gladiator.
Josh, have you
Okay.
seen Gladiator?
I've seen both. Yep. These are both on my list actually.
Oh, really? You like Gladiator too?
Yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. I
Yeah.
didn't know you seen it.
Okay,
That's
so
actually-
maybe we all know about Gladiator. So give a pitch for Fate Stay Night.
All right, so Fate Stay Night is basically, man, there's so much to explain, but essentially there are these masters, and they're like mages, and they're servants, and these servants are ancient mythological figures, and they fight in these 7 different classes, and whichever master servant pair wins gets a holy grail, and they can wish whatever they want. Essentially, this goes down a specific route of the Fate Stay Night franchise where you team up with this girl and she becomes evil. This is really tackling the question of, would I value the one I love at the expense of thousands of lives? Should I enable that relationship to flourish at the cost of everything around me? And like even like grotesquely seeing the consequences of what you're doing and still choosing to love this person and believing that you can change this person in the end. That is the question that this movie solves, and it's amazing fight scenes, the best
Okay,
fight
I
scenes I've
have-
ever seen. That's 1
I
minute.
gotta,
That's
I
1
gotta
minute.
talk about Gladiator. Oh, that's it? I don't even get to.
Oh,
Okay.
I thought we all watched it, so we didn't need to talk about it. My bad.
I was gonna make kind of a point.
Sure, go ahead.
No, we're out of time. Gladiator.
Fate Stay Night.
Classic.
Josh, what do you choose?
I'm Fate Stay Night.
I'm actually legitimately really, really torn here.
I didn't get a chance to give a speech, so that's
Well,
just tragic.
I love Gladiator, so I'm
Alright,
voting Gladiator.
Understandable.
But I really want to watch that, Josh.
We'll talk about it more in the grievances, I guess.
All right,
early
so
exit. Very
now
early
we
exit.
have a Paxton versus Josh, number 5, The Prestige, versus number 12, Expelled from Paradise. Let's
Mhm.
let Paxton go first with The Prestige. And begin
Okay.
the time.
The Prestige has Hugh Jack. Have you seen it, Jacob?
I have.
It's a very good movie. It's got Hugh Jackman versus Christian Bale, and they're like 2 very competing magicians, and they're both want to have like the audience in the town, and they're both trying to do their different things. And then one of the guys, Hugh Jackman's character, has this trick where it looks like he's teleporting across the room, and it's super cool, and everyone loves it. But the twist, I don't even know if I. The twist is really cool at the end. I don't know if I should say it. It has a really cool twist on how he does teleport. It's shocking. It's gritty. It's dark. It's amazing. It's so worth the watch. Has so many good actors' performances.
Okay.
And I really like it.
Expelled from Paradise is about humanity starts living digitally, uploading their consciousness into an international space station like satellite above the Earth, and so people don't actually experience life on Earth. But there's this robot that's sending messages to this society in this digital space, asking anyone who wants to go on a space trip with them and explore the stars. And I'm out of time. There's so much plot. It really talks about like
All right, Josh, you're out of
living as a
time.
human is
Nope,
good.
you're out
But
of
yeah, I'm
time.
done. I'm done. Yeah, yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Sometimes you have to interrupt the
Yeah.
other person when you're
Yeah,
running
yeah.
out.
Understand.
That's what I've had
This
to
is
do.
part of the
Sorry.
game. It sucks. This is the blood.
I'm going Prestige.
I'm
I
going
mean,
with the Prestige.
it's
I'm
really
sorry.
good.
Understandable.
It's a really good movie.
I
You
like
should-
what you were trying to say, but
Oof.
We should definitely watch The Prestige together because I think you'd like it, Josh.
Mm.
Do you like it, Jake? Like it's
I do like it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's very good.
Okay.
So I love the Prestige, but I'm also an anime guy, so I'm always interested to hear Josh's arguments for things, and they definitely could sway me. All right, so this is sad. This is tragic. Number 4, A Silent Voice versus number 13, Jurassic Park. A Silent Voice was my pick. Jurassic Park was Paxton's pick. All right, go ahead and start the timer, Josh. A Silent Voice deals with bullying. It's a movie about a character who starts out as a bully for a girl who has hearing impairment, and eventually, because of his bullying, he gets exposed as a bully, and then his friends kind of abandon him, and then he ends up essentially being
Okay,
bullied
okay.
himself.
Okay, Jurassic Park is a scene where these couple of mad scientists take DNA from sap and they extract the DNA and sap of dinosaurs and they bring back dinosaurs to life. And it's the whole dilemma of should we bring back dinosaurs as an attraction or let nature take its course and just let them stay extinct? So it's like the dilemma of should we bring back or let nature have the final say and let them be extinct? And so they build this park, people come, and then the dinosaurs start attacking people. It's a cult classic. It's amazing. People get eaten, and yeah, there's a lot of great movies in it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I vote A Silent Voice.
Jurassic Park.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to. I watched the whole Silent Voice thing. I know that there's more to. Yeah, but I think I've seen. I don't think I've seen a full Jurassic Park movie, so that's unfortunate. But,
Oh, you've seen? I didn't know you saw it. Okay,
yeah,
I was up against the wall. Unlucky.
unfortunate.
A Silent Voice, Josh?
Yep.
Okay, so now we have number 6, Wally, versus these are both Josh's. Sad. Versus
Unlucky.
number 11, No Game, No Life, Zero. I have seen both of these. I'm guessing Paxton has seen Wally.
Just Wally, yeah.
Okay, so this will be.
But I don't
Paxton.
like Wally, so you can if
Okay.
you make No Game No Life sound interesting, I'll vote for it.
I'm actually voting No Game, No Life here. Josh, which one would you vote?
That's a tough one, man. I think I might. Just for me right now, I would want to watch No Game No Life over Wally. But man, what do I say is better? I think no. I think Wally is the objectively better movie. But
Yeah, I think
Convince me.
No Game, No Life is more interesting.
yeah,
No Game,
exactly.
No Life deals with like people fighting each other. It like battles in a world are dealt with playing games. So like playing chess determines who wins a war. So there's but Zero, the movie is a
Mhm.
it's actually I think better than the TV show itself. It
Mhm.
has some characters that are really good. But I think it's just a more interesting concept and more fascinating. It's more engaging. Wally is cool. It's visually beautiful. But I think No Game No Life is more gritty and it discusses bigger and more interesting themes to me than Wally does.
No Game No Life.
All right. I don't know what I would have picked, so I'm content with you guys deciding.
Not sure why I didn't let me separate, but we're just gonna do No Game Life. All right. Now we have number 3, The Dark Knight, versus number 14, The Platform. I feel like this will be an easy pick for everybody. Do we need to talk about it? Has everybody seen The Dark Knight?
I have not.
Yes.
Has everybody seen The Platform? I have not.
No.
Ah.
I mean, Dark
Let's
Knight's
discuss.
really
Let's
good.
discuss. Okay, let's discuss.
You can try. You can try.
Okay.
I'm gonna start. So the platform is a movie about a prisoner who gets sent to this weird new prison system where everyone lives on these levels, and there's an elevator that goes down and delivers food. The elevator has a
Oh,
has a dinner plate on it on it as it descends from level one all
I've
the way
seen this.
down to an unending, unknown amount of levels. And people have to grab as much food as they can for 30 seconds, and the platform descends with the same amount of food. These people get trapped; they have no idea, and their levels get swapped every month or so. They have to try to survive, and they're trying to send a message to the prison workers so that they can know that they're living in inhumane living conditions, so that they can escape eventually. It's oh man,
This is on YouTube, right? This movie's on YouTube.
I think it might be, yes.
Yeah, it was made on YouTube. I've seen it. It's actually pretty good.
Okay. And Dark Knight. Tell me about Dark Knight. I have no idea what it is.
I mean, The Dark Knight is a Batman movie, but it has one of the greatest individual performances of all time. Heath Ledger, who's a method actor, so he actually took on the character of the Joker to such an extent where when you interacted with him in real life, he was in the character of the Joker.
Wow.
It's time. It's
yeah.
time.
Yeah, it's time. I just wanted to finish that sentence, but
Dark
yeah.
Knight.
Dark Knight.
Okay.
I have seen the platform. It's pretty good.
Okay, now we have. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
Two Astro
hey,
Boys.
We got a
Wait,
problem.
Astro Boy's back. He's come to strike again.
No. This isn't. How did Astro Boy do this? He defied all laws.
He needs to win. He's gonna keep putting himself in here somewhere.
Let's see. What is something that? Oh my goodness! I don't know how Astro Boy's snuck in there again. Let me
What a
see
little
what I
devious
can
little
put
fella.
on here.
Little boy. Little fella.
Is it a Josh pick? Because Josh can just.
Yeah, I voted. I mean, I
Both of these
wrote
are
both of
his,
these.
but I don't know why Astro Boy is on here twice.
Well, are you gonna vote for Angry Man anyways? Because it doesn't really matter because Astro Boy was voted out last time, so
Have
it's
any
not
of
the
you?
end of the world.
I think that depends on whether you guys have watched either of these or not.
Also, why is? Oh, I see. Okay.
Hold on. I'm just making sure there wasn't something I forgot to
Yeah.
put on the list. If not, I mean, I'm actually voting 12 Angry Men on this one.
Paxton, have you seen either of these?
I have not.
Okay.
So just vote for. If you vote 12 Angry Men, it's over. We can move on.
You know what? I don't see. Oh, never mind. I know what this. No. No, never mind. I don't know how Astro Boy did it, but he got on here twice, so we're just
And he's gonna lose. And he's gonna lose twice.
He probably is. I think I'm gonna have to. I think
so,
12
that's
Angry
so
Men
tragic.
is such a legendary classic film. I just. Yeah, I guess we can talk about it later.
Twice. That's crazy.
All right, so now we have. It's crazy that at the very end of this, we get to the Lord of the Rings at number 2 versus Sigourney Weaver in number 15, Alien. Have either of you guys seen Alien?
Nope.
Yep.
I think Lord of the Rings wins this. We don't need to go too hard, but Alien is a great horror movie that has people go to another planet, and this parasite ends up basically impregnating itself into a person, and then when they leave this planet, this alien pops out of them, and then it's this horror movie of this alien tracking them down on a ship and killing
Really
them
good.
one by one.
It's one of the best horror movies of all
It's
time.
very, very good. But but the Lord of the Rings is better.
It's the Lord of the Rings. Yeah. Wow. Round
All
one over.
right.
I have a suggestion to make. I think we should keep it at still a minute.
We do. We are. No.
Okay.
That was already part of the plan.
Perfect.
We're staying at a minute. And especially this round, it's probably going to go fast because we've talked about these a little bit.
Yeah.
But for this round, we're still keeping it at a minute. All right, we're just going to jump right into it. This is round 2. There are 32 teams.
Make sure you're strict with the timer, Josh.
Yep.
And we have number 1, Shawshank Redemption versus number 8, Inglourious Bastards. I'm going to take the ground here. I've seen both of these. I want to talk about Shawshank a little bit more. So one of the things I don't think I mentioned is the fact that the main character in Shawshank Redemption was put in prison on false allegations. He was actually framed for his crime. but he makes the best of his time in prison and actually ends up befriending a lot of the people there. And then there's one point in the movie where he ends up gaining popularity even with the warden himself, and the warden gives him special privileges and actually allows him to be like the librarian. And then there's a point in which he meets a young new inmate who tells him a story that he was told by another guy that basically brings the fact that the main character can put his case before a judge and basically be called innocent because this guy bring in some new information. And then the twist is the warden has that guy killed because there you go.
Yep.
Is that time? Wow, Glorious Bastard did not get much chance there. But about go Shawshank. Shawshank is a good film. Unless I mean,
Josh, you've heard a little bit of both.
I think I would be more interested in watching Shawshank. So yeah, I'll go Shawshank.
Once again, he doesn't like war movies, which is what.
just unlucky.
Yeah.
Wait, you were going Shawshank, right?
I was going Shawshank.
That was a
I
sweep.
love Inglourious Bastards. I think
That was
it's
a sweep.
fantastic. All right, now we have Ip Man versus 9.
9.
Okay, you want to go first,
I
Specs?
think Ip Man is better.
Neither of these are mine.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, you go first then, Jacob.
I've seen both.
Oh,
I've seen both.
Ip Man tells the story of a Chinese martial artist who.
No. You need to convince me why I should pick it. I've seen both of these.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Ip Man tells the story of a Chinese martial artist who the Chinese come and take over his land, and how he survives as a martial artist who was in this place of prominence and his family had everything, to where now he's in this place of poverty, and he continues to maintain his honor throughout all of that and continues to press forward through the difficulties and hardships of oppression.
Okay.
And it's a great story of human life.
And 9 was really cool. There's a lot of very cool details about the movie too. So the guy splits his soul into 9 different subparts, and they each go into these dolls that get animated with the soul, and they all have different personalities, which is really cool because the person is made up of different sorts of temperaments, and these 9 bodies work together to take down this AI in this giant machine that's killing everyone and has killed everyone, and so that they can restore humanity. And there's a final battle. It's really cool. The end.
Oh, this is so tough. Holy
Facts.
man. Oh man, I can't. Just give me 1 second.
No, you got to make a decision.
I'm going 9.
9. I like 9.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I like 9.
Dang.
No, I don't know. Actually, okay, I'm sticking with it.
9 is so cool.
Oh, you said it. All right.
Ip's good though. Ip is
now we
really
have number
good.
6 Inception versus number 3 Star Wars. This is kind of crazy. We've all seen all of these, right?
I've not seen any full Star Wars movie.
That's insane.
Oh, okay. Wow. Okay, what are you voting for, Jake? That'll help determine where we're going with this. Because I don't even know. I don't even know what I want to vote for. Like,
I don't know what I want to.
Like, I don't know what I want. Tell me what I want.
Josh, talk for Inception for a minute.
Okay, no, Inception's great because it has so much awesome rewatch value. You can like pick out these little details when you rewatch it. There's so many layers to the movie. You can like see how these dreams and people dreaming within dreams, and how that actually is a strategy to solve a problem. And there's so much detail put into it. The soundtrack is amazing. I think it's Hans Zimmer again. Hans Zimmer is an incredible music composer.
It's Hans. I think it's Hans.
Okay, my bad.
Okay,
yeah.
I love Inception, but Star Wars is Star Wars, and I will never forget some of the lines in those movies. Even though Inception is like a higher on my list.
Are you serious?
I can't send Star Wars out like this. It's too good of a film. It's too iconic, especially for its time. It was revolutionary for its time.
Enough discussing. Time for voting.
I'm going
Star
Inception.
Wars.
Why do you guys leave this up to me?
It's Star Wars, Jake.
It's Inception. It's Inception. Ah, yeah.
Let's go. Oh man, I don't know why I'm excited. I love Inception, but nice.
That was so hard. We'll talk about later why that was so hard.
Actually terrible. That was actually terrible because Inception should be actually in the grand finals for how good.
Now we have number 7, The Truman Show versus number 15, Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
I like both of them.
Scott Pilgrim versus the World has an amazing cast of characters. Um, it I guess one of the complaints about it is the main character is kind of terrible because he's dating a girl who it's all of her exes that are coming and fighting him, but he also the girl he's dating, he basically left his current girlfriend and just totally ghosted her and pretended like he wasn't dating her, and it's kind of a show, it's a movie that's about
Okay.
relationships.
I really need to go.
Oh, that's tough.
The Truman Show is much more deeper than Scott Pilgrim. You get to enter the mind of a guy who gets to figure out his whole life has just been this movie, this 24/7 broadcast of his whole life. So the whole world is watching him, and it's kind of him discovering that and like getting to like accidentally walk into behind the sets of a TV show and them covering it up. So it's like a comedy, but it's also like just you get a peek inside of his mind on how he's thinking about this, and he's kind of going crazy the entire time. He's going more crazy because he's trying to figure out what's going on because he doesn't even know what a TV show is. But he's like, what? Why is it just like him trying to understand what reality is and what being real is?
Truman Show, or sorry, Scott Pilgrim.
Truman.
That's me. Let's see. I think.
What do you want to watch?
I think. Let's see. I think Scott Pilgrim looks more interesting to me. I like the ideal of battles.
Actually,
yeah.
I do like Scott Pilgrim, but Truman is better. Wow, that's tough. I thought I sold it well too. I'm lucky.
It does sound interesting. I'll give it that.
All right, now we have Demon Slayer. This is so crazy with this list. We're getting stuff like Demon Slayer Mugen Train versus Tucker and Dale versus Evil. This is insane.
Which one?
Don't think we need to talk about this because I'm voting Demon Slayer.
Likewise, there's no competition.
Tucker and Dale is fantastic. It's hilarious, but Demon Slayer is objectively better in my mind.
I feel like you should have tried to defend your film. That one's yours, Jake.
No, I can't.
Ugh.
I talked about what I wanted with Tucker and Dale. It's hilarious. Josh, you should watch it.
Okay.
It's so much fun. But I only watch it around Halloween, so I only watch it one time a year. It's very thematic to me.
Should we try to sell Demon Slayer harder to PAX while we have time, or we just skip next?
I mean, it doesn't matter if you guys.
Right.
Yeah.
We have two of my picks. Number 12, iRobot versus number 4, Princess Bride. I like Princess Bride better, but iRobot has a special place in my heart. Like I said, it tackles the idea of robotics and humanity, which I think is like a bigger question, and there are more interesting concepts in there. And actually, there is one robot who is kind of a main character of the show, and you're constantly trying to figure out, is this robot actually good or evil? Is it helping humanity or not? And it was made differently without the rules of robotics ingrained in it. So that's why you might think it's bad, but then maybe that makes it good.
And Princess Bride, anyone? Or...
Princess Bride is just a comedy. I'm going to talk about both of them. That has some of the best just like dialogue and character personalities, and the story is I think that if you told the story, it's not interesting. It's character driven. It's comedy and character driven, and I love characters, and I think I don't know. I can't explain how good it is in that short of time.
I am gonna vote iRobot.
I'm going Princess Bride.
Why do you guys make me make the decision?
Whoever says the vote first.
It's your list. Jake, Princess Bride's the iconic one. I mean, it's got.
iRobot's so much more interesting.
People are gonna kill me. I actually probably prefer iRobot, even though objectively I think Princess Bride is better. iRobot is more.
I've seen iRobot.
To me.
It's okay.
It's more interesting to me. I'm actually familiar with.
I mean, yeah.
So we're just. Oh, that was terrible. I hated that.
That was a rough round.
That was painful. Okay, now we have Pan's Labyrinth versus Saving Private Ryan. Okay, this is very fascinating. I'm gonna let Paxton go first since I went first last time. Saving Private Ryan.
I really liked your pitch for Pan's Labyrinth last time, if I remember it. It sounded very interesting. Saving Private Ryan, I'm not going to convince Josh with, so it really is going to come down to convincing you, Jake, that it's better. Saving Private Ryan is probably the best told World War II movie of all time. I mean, it's the story of obviously saving Ryan and the consequences of that and how gruesome and awful war is. I think it shows the best, like, version of being in the war as like a POV in one character and like looking through their eyes and what they see. And I don't know. I really like it. It's great. I mean,
I think it's a great movie. I think Pan's Labyrinth is more creative and interesting, and it's also about war. It's very gritty. It's very dark. It's one that's emotionally gets me teared up, and Saving Private Ryan does not do that. And I can talk a little bit more about
oh
that
wait, wait,
later
wait,
on.
wait, wait, hold on. Pan's Labyrinth is a war movie.
It's about war. It's
Okay, I have
about
a chance, I
war
have a
from
chance to win. I have a chance to win here. Saving
no,
Private
no,
Ryan.
no, but it's about war from the perspective of a young girl, how she
Yeah,
deals
yeah,
with it. And
Okay,
she creates a
10.
fantasy world.
yeah.
Pan's Labyrinth.
Saving Private Ryan.
I think from what I've heard, I think Private Ryan is the objectively better movie.
Say your vote.
Wow.
Say your vote. What's your vote?
Yeah, Private Ryan.
Let's go.
Wow.
That's huge.
Oh
That
man, I
that is
feel
a
like
good film.
I failed Pan's
You
Labyrinth there.
you thought you had the easy win and you
I
didn't defend
did.
it.
I did.
That's actually tough.
Oh wow. Okay, John Wick versus The Usual Suspects.
Who
I
says
don't think we
Usual
need to
Suspects?
discuss this. I'm voting John Wick. I think The Usual Suspects, what makes it great, I cannot talk about. I cannot explain on this
Actually, I really
podcast.
want to see it though. Like I might vote for it. If you, okay, I'll go John Wick.
I can't do it. It would
Hmm.
ruin it.
What is better? What is better?
John Wick is better in my mind.
Okay,
But The
I'll vote John
Usual
Wick.
Suspects has it's one that you will talk about for days afterwards.
Okay, I'll go John Wick.
Yeah, me too.
I do want to see that one though.
Yeah, me
So-
too. That would be a cool movie night, I think.
All right, now this is crazy.
Oh,
Now
that's a
we
tough
have
lineup.
Violet Evergarden, the movie, versus Interstellar. Josh, maybe you should just talk about this. Do you have a favorite of these two?
I'd have to spend some time deciding. I think on my list,
What
I
do you
think
want over?
Evergarden was higher. I think I'm gonna go Evergarden. I can go into more depth.
I'm going
Basically,
to talk about Evergarden because I'm leaning towards Interstellar.
okay, yeah, Evergarden.
I didn't get a chance to talk about it a little bit though. But go ahead.
Yeah, so Evergarden. I mean, near the end, the girl. Okay, so the girl obviously lived in a very, very difficult circumstances because she wasn't able to actually fully express herself. She had to learn like human emotions. She was like, imagine like a woman who's raised by dogs. Like, there's no sort of parental figure, and she just like has no idea what's going on. And so, she's the whole movie is about like. For the whole story is learning about how to interact with humans, and then near the end, she starts finding the lieutenant that raised her during the war, and she finds him, and there's a very very emotional.
Okay.
Yeah.
I only have a little bit of time. Interstellar has
Ah.
the greatest soundtrack of all time. Interstellar is the best space story of all time. I mean, the acting by what's his face is super good. The visuals of them going through space and the orchestra is just incredible. It's timeless. It's amazing.
Done.
That was it. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was. There's so much to say on both of them.
I know. I couldn't even. Okay. Interstellar.
I'm going Evergarden.
This is so hard because I really, really feel like I can't vote without seeing Violet Evergarden. I do like Interstellar, but I am actually going to shock the world and go with Violet Evergarden.
Let's go.
Because Interstellar has some problems that I complained about, and I felt like nobody else addressed. So we can get into that later in the grievances. But I am just complaining about Interstellar on some things and going with Evergarden.
Did you see the series, by the way, Jake?
I've seen
Okay.
seen the series. Not all of it, but I've
That's
seen
criminal.
a good amount.
That's a
good portion.
criminal take. That's an absolutely criminal take.
Some of their yeah, we'll get into
Okay.
it later. We don't have time. Number 5, Wolf Children versus number 4, A Beautiful Mind. This is tragic for me. Because I'm
Right.
torn between these two.
Okay.
But beautiful. Here's what I want to say. Beautiful
Honestly.
Mind's on your list. Why won't you defend it?
Why? Because I've seen both of these.
I know, but why won't you defend the one you put on your list?
Because it's a difference between you're taking up time. It's a difference between something that I think is objectively better versus something that I've only seen once and recently versus something that's part of my childhood.
Okay.
So
What do you defend?
I think A Beautiful Mind, another, like, I can't defend it because A Beautiful Mind is another one where if I defend why I think it's amazing, okay, let's just take it from this place. It had one of the most surprising moments I've ever had in a movie before. It did something that it took a turn that shocked me more than anything else. Like it
Give
blindsided me
Josh
more
time.
than
Give
any
Josh
other
time.
movie.
Yeah,
Josh time.
so Wolf Children has the most nostalgic scene I've ever seen in my entire life. I was like, man, I was that kid. That was me. I'm like crying because my parents put so much effort into I could see my parents in these characters. I could see myself as these
Oh
kids.
man.
And also, finally, real quick, it has to deal with like letting your kids go down their own paths and stepping back as a parent. Like that was also
Okay.
explored. But yeah, that's it.
You're right though, Pax. I need to do a better job of explaining them, even if I don't want to.
Okay.
I will do that, but I think I am
Let's
voting Wolf
go.
Children.
I'm thankful for that. Thank you. Alrighty.
Okay, so now I want to eat your pancreas versus Spider-Man.
It's a
Miles
funny title.
Morales, the Spider-Verse.
Okay.
Josh, I think Spider-Man just wins this. I'm probably voting Spider-Man.
I
Okay.
could give a case if you want.
So Josh, you have the floor to try to convince us that the
No, I
pancreas
know, because he
wins.
can't have all the time, because then he's gonna convince your mind. I won't have a chance.
Okay, I'll do 30 seconds. It's counting right now. Okay. So again, like eating your pancreas is like, man, this girl is like I think I don't remember what they're gonna do, but man, there was this scene at the end after she dies, where she's telling him all the things that they were planning to do before her actual death due to her illness, and she's just like talking about like how like meaningful of a relationship it was, how much she valued it, and like
Okay.
it was tear jerking.
So
It was the most sad thing ever.
So there's a scene. There's Spider-Man's amazing because they have whole different directions, like whole different studios of art that do each different universe, and they all have like whole different types of people that do different types of universe. And there's like universes where like the background will change with the emotion of the character. It's one of the most unique scenes I've ever seen in my life. The humor always hits. The stories, it's pretty deep for a children's story as well, and I just love it. The characters are all extremely likable. Like none of the characters they've made are not likable, and I think 1 and 2 work perfectly well together. Yeah, I think it's time.
All right, so my vote in this is going to be very strange, and people are going to hate the way I tend to vote. But I'm voting for Spider-Man because I watched I Want to Eat Your Pancreas with my sister, and it was awkward on one of the scenes.
True.
Nice.
Watching it with your sister.
That is true.
So, because of that, it goes down on the list. I might have had a different experience otherwise. Okay, now we are going with Harry Potter versus Your Name.
Who's this
Once
your
again,
name?
this is crazy. So many times this is Paxton and Josh arguing because I've seen both.
Okay.
I
guess Pax first.
Yeah, go ahead, Pax. Harry Potter.
Again, I'm just gonna iterate this. They had 8 movies on 8 books, and they didn't miss a beat. Each one is incredible. Each one delivers, like connects with the last one and delivers a powerful message, powerful acting, powerful combat. I think it just interprets what the books were trying to go for perfectly, and I think that can't not be overstated. There are so many titles where they try to take the book and make it the movie, and it's horrible. And this is one of the golden examples of what it looks like to respect the source material and make it entertaining on screen.
Cool. And with Your Name, like I didn't explain this before, it's actually kind of there's a little bit of action going on. There's like kind of like a heroic aspect to it where this guy in Tokyo is trying to go back in time and evacuate everyone as the girl so that her family survives a crater that will destroy her entire neighborhood or actual like town. And so there's that love story too, but there's an action element to it. And the visuals are amazing. The comet landing is really cool. The music's amazing. But that's all the time I have.
Okay, I am going with Your Name because I felt like Josh did a good job of talking about something different that he didn't talk about the first time. I'm pretty much even with both of these. All right, Instant Family versus Gladiator. Do we need to talk about this?
No, I'll go Gladiator.
No,
Gladiator.
Are you serious, Max?
Gladiator is a better film. Like Instant Family.
We need to. Okay, just tell. I want to know. Take a minute to just talk about Instant Family.
Okay, Gladiator gets my testosterone filled once we hit the gym. Instant Family literally made me cry with my family. It's 2 very, very different films.
Okay.
But as far as like impact, Gladiator. It's been with me longer. I've only seen Instant Family like 1 time. Well, twice.
Hmm.
Okay.
But Gladiator, I've seen like
I
4
want to
times.
talk about Instant Family with you more, but I'm voting Gladiator.
All right. Yes, Sam.
All right, The
Another sweep.
Prestige versus A Silent Voice. All right, this is you and I, Paxton.
Oh my goodness! Wait, really?
I'll start
Jeez.
off. A Silent Voice. One of the things that it does just really, really well is kind of shows kids through adolescence how much different things affect them and how lonely they are and how hard it is when you suffer to basically open up to people or even trust people. That's one of the themes it tackles, but it tackles a lot of different themes as well. And like I said, bullying and the repercussions of bullying in
Done.
it are one of the
Okay.
big things.
I'll probably let you win this one and vote A Silent Voice, but Prestige is also very good, and the twist at the end is very, very cool. And I can't really say anything else without saying it. You should watch it sometime, but I'll go with A Silent Voice.
Alrighty.
Okay.
I mean, I like the Prestige, but I'm not like incredibly high on it.
Okay, No Game, No Life, Zero versus The Dark Knight. I'm voting The Dark Knight.
I'm assuming
Dark
Paxton
Knight.
is too.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, there's no
So-
changing your mind.
No.
No Game, No Life, I will say, is visually very, very beautiful. Like No Game, No Life, Zero. Like it's incredible visuals. It's been so long since I've seen it, but I remember I watched the movie before I watched the show, and
Oh,
then I
cool.
went and watched the show, and I didn't like it as much. I thought the movie was better. I thought it was a more complete story. It had good characters. But yeah, the show, I don't know. The show had one thing in anime that they do, which is like have a lolly. So it's a young girl who's they kind of sexualize.
Okay,
a little
we've
bit.
talked about lollies already twice
I
in a
know.
3-episode podcast.
No, 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 no.
Okay.
Hold on. But I have to explain the reason I bring that up again is this is a thing in anime that they do that I hate. And so I
Mm,
have to keep
yeah.
bringing it up. Like
It's
this
disgusting.
destroys
Time.
shows for me.
Yeah.
It is disgusting. Dark Knight.
Dark Knight.
The next one's pretty easy unless someone wants to make a case.
I would make a case for the 12 Angry Men. I mean, I think it's a better movie.
You've
personally.
seen The Lord of the Rings, though.
I-
There's no way.
No, I
Okay,
think it's
Josh,
better.
Go,
All right, I'm
go
going.
12 Angry Men.
I start. Okay, so 12 Angry Men isn't abysmally boring. Lord of the Rings, I fell asleep like twice just because it was so boring. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this, but 12 Angry Men kept me engaged the entire time. Let me give it a shot. So basically, it's a story about this guy who, on the face of it, obviously murdered this person, but then there's this one guy who's kind of being like annoying and going against the crowd and saying, wait a second, I actually have reasonable doubt that this guy didn't kill this person. And just holds up these other 11 men that are trying to get by with their day.
The Lord of the Rings has the gold standard for epic battles. There is no better adaptation in movies of what a big epic battle should look like, what like a big epic climax should look like in big battles, and I think it just delivers on every point when it comes to that. And has, I mean, I guess I don't know how you fell asleep in that film. I think that's insulting. I think it's one of the best films of all time, especially with how 1, 2, and 3 all.
Okay. 12 Angry Men is more thought provoking. Lord of the Rings is more mind blowing. I'm voting Lord of the Rings.
Alrighty.
12 Angry Men is a great movie, Pax. I think you would love it. I know.
I think you'd love it.
Is it animated?
No,
No,
it's
no, no, no. It's black and
Really?
white, I believe.
1957,
Really?
black and white.
It's
Oh wow.
really, really
Okay,
good.
that's cool.
Oh,
Oh, boy.
Hey,
I can end this round right now. I'm going Shawshank.
I'm going
This
9.
is where, this is where 9. This is where 9 lead ends. I love 9. Listen, I let 9 be IP man. So can I get some
I
credit
respect
for
that.
that?
I respect that.
Like 9 is a good film. I won't even lie. I like 9, but Shawshank is it's one of the best.
It's an amazing story. I'm gonna save some of the stuff for the later rounds then, as far as talking about it.
It's
So
gonna
here we
have
go.
some tough competition.
Wait, Jacob, is it still 1 minute or do I up the time now?
We're gonna keep it at 1 minute for one more round,
Okay.
just for the sake of time, and then the next round we'll up it to 2 minutes.
Okay.
All right. Scott
this is a
Pilgrim
pretty
versus
easy
the
round.
World versus Star Wars.
I don't think you're not gonna take that stance, right?
No, I'm voting
I'm
Star
about to say,
Wars this
like,
time. We've talked about
yeah,
it enough.
Star Wars.
Scott
It is a
Pilgrim
good
is
film.
fun.
Like I
Star
think
Wars is more iconic.
I do love Scott Pilgrim. I think Truman Show is better, but Scott Pilgrim is also a very good film. So
I will say I saw an interview with Michael Cera and who is the guy that plays Captain America? Chris
Chris Evans.
Chris Evans. And Chris Evans has a part in it that's hilarious. And he talks
Great.
about, and they talk about it being like they just loved working on this show together. They just had
It
so
was
much
great.
fun.
It was really fun.
Yep.
Really fun. But Star
But
Wars
I
is-
vote Star Wars.
I think all of these are pretty, and the next one is pretty easy. Demon Slayer. I'm going Demon Slayer. I've seen the show, so.
Oh,
Oh,
nice.
you've seen the show.
I did
Okay.
see the show. I like the show.
Yeah, I want to talk about iRobot just a little bit. I
Yeah.
will vote Demon Slayer here as well.
Same.
A sweep, another sweep. Wow, we're sweeping all the way through. This is
But-
the easy round.
But iRobot, it has such a great interaction with the main character, who's Detective Spooner, who is against the whole idea. Yeah, I know.
That's a cool name.
He's against the whole idea of robotics, but there's the one robot who also is the robot who was made without the rules of robotics, which say you can't like kill humanity, you have to do all this stuff, made without those, who normally he would be paired against this robot, and he is originally, and then they end up actually working together in the end. And it has just this great interaction with why he ends up deciding to trust this robot. And kind of just the ideas of a robot who is more human-like actually ends up being the better choice in the end than all these robots who were programmed to protect humans. So it's plays with very, very interesting ideas to me, but I vote Demon Slayer.
That's a sweep.
Yeah.
Oh, this next one, pretty torn. Wow.
Saving Private Ryan versus John Wick.
I'm actually going John Wick. I mean,
I'm going John Wick.
Yeah.
I'd probably go John.
Keanu Reeves and his performance, and just man, it's stylistically beautiful. The whole world they create around assassins, and man,
Saving Private Ryan probably is a better film, but when I'm talking personal, nah, dude, John Wick takes this pretty much every.
It's got Keanu Reeves, you know.
Keanu Reeves, man, we are blowing through this. This is getting crazy.
These
okay, Josh, this is a tragic one for you. Violet Evergarden, the movie, versus Wolf Children.
Okay. I'm voting Wolf Children. Because even though Evergarden was a very, very emotional reunion at the end, it kind of got a little diminished for me since I had so much time between watching the series and the movie. Wolf Children, I rewatch over and over. It's got such a special place in my heart. I
vote Wolf Children.
Okay,
I've seen it.
I was going to vote
Evergarden
about it
more, but we're going to talk.
Really?
You made it sound more interesting, but it's okay.
Okay, that's fine.
All right, now we're going with Spider-Man, Into the Spider-Verse, Miles Morales, versus Your Name. I think we need to talk about this one because I love Your Name.
Okay.
I'm not sure what I would vote for here.
I mean, Your Name's good. Wait, is Your Name yours, Jake, or is it?
It's mine.
It was a duplicate.
Oh, cool.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you had it too. Cool.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. I see how it is. I mean, you did. I think Your Name. I think I remember which one that was. That one did sound very compelling. Spider-Man. I don't know. I think they're the one franchise to make multiverses actually really fun and work well. And I think because they did it so well, all the ripoffs came out, and I think that's just like praises to how well they did it and how fun it was. But I wouldn't be absolutely.
Okay, go ahead, Josh. Your Name.
Yeah, although I got 10 seconds, but yeah, like it's the characters are amazing as well. There's some really natural teenager like instincts and like actions that are done, and you have the interaction with like high school that also gets explored. But yeah, time.
Yeah, I mean, Your Name is actually pretty funny at points, and it has wonderful music at points. But I'm voting for Spider-Man.
Wow, Spider-Man's making it. How, dude? What? How did Logan go out in the first round, but Spider-Man's making it to the semis?
It's
how is Logan out in the
craziness of this bracket, man.
It is
it's
what it
brutal.
It's
all right,
nuts.
now we have Gladiator versus A Silent Voice.
Who's A Silent Voice?
Boy. Both of these were mine.
Oh,
I had Gladiator as well.
I had Gladiator as well.
I like A Silent Voice better.
Really?
But A Silent Voice actually made me cry. Um, and I don't even understand or know why exactly. I think there were moments. There was one scene where it shows the bully, the character,
Mhm.
who had ostracized himself in a way from everybody else. And the show shows that by putting just this X mark in front of everybody's face. And so it's like to him, they're X'd out of his life. They don't exist. And throughout the show, as he begins to build up actual true relationships with people, the X will fall away. And then he actually can interact with them. There were just moments that felt very much like, man, like I feel and I've felt what this guy has been going through, and I can like really enter into this. And I thought it was a very creative way to illustrate that.
Time.
That said, I think Gladiator is objectively better.
Gladiator.
Well,
I'm gonna have to go Gladiator.
Yeah.
It's a tough one. Very tough.
I'll go a Silent Voice.
Give it some love. Give it some love.
It's more meaningful to me.
Mm,
Oh my gosh! I just looked at the next one.
it is so
What?
tough.
That's scuffed.
The
That's actually scuffed.
horrors of the bracket that I made. You guys can criticize me for it later.
I mean, I know what I'm gonna vote.
Knight versus Lord of the Rings.
I know what I'm gonna vote, but it hurts.
What are we gonna do?
I'm gonna go. I mean, come on. The thing about Lord of the Rings is here's what it does so well. It has all these different individual adventures going on, right? But they're all amazing. Like it like it's not all like it runs together very well. Like there's Frodo and Sam, right? There's Gandalf doing his thing. There's all these different Gollum, all these different characters. But it never feels like there's too many or you're overwhelmed or there's like you can't figure out what's going on. It's all very coherent. And it's just like I can't think of another film that can do that have this many characters, but it doesn't feel convoluted. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
The Dark Knight is amazing. I love it. It's the best Batman movie ever. Best Joker
I'm gonna
film
say
ever.
The Dark Knight it is amazing, but it feels more similar to other movies and more mainstream. Whereas Lord of the Rings, nothing has really felt like that since then or before. So I'm voting Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I'm going Lord of the Rings as well.
There you go.
Josh, do you get the sweep? You get the sweep?
I'm gonna have to say I would probably be more interested in Dark Knight, given that
You're the Lord of the Rings hater. That's all you are.
Yeah, I might be.
He really is. Let's see if Josh's hate for Lord of the Rings will eventually
catch up.
We have 8
semis
movies left.
Okay, I'm gonna 2 minutes. Is that right?
Shawshank Redemption, Star Wars. Yeah, we're moving it up to 2 minutes for each one now.
Okay.
Shawshank Redemption versus Star Wars. We have Demon Slayer versus John Wick. We have Wolf Children versus Spider-Man, and Gladiator versus Lord of the Rings. This is wild. Okay. 2 minutes. We're starting with the Shawshank Redemption versus Star Wars. I think we all know what Shawshank Redemption is about to a point right now. I think Star Wars is the more interesting one, and I think it's interesting to talk about, does Star Wars lose points for some of the later movies that came out that really flopped? I think that's the big thing, because if we're just considering the originals, I think I like it more. But it kind of destroyed itself with some of the newer movies.
But here's where I'd make an argument. Yes, that is a good point. But also with the newer movies comes my favorite of the Star Wars movie, and that's Rogue One. And you have to take Rogue One also into account. And that is such a good movie. Rogue One is amazing. Yes, there are some stinkers in there. But it's like, you also got Rogue One. So it's like, well, there's also some good that came with the newer ones. That being said, I don't know what I'm going to vote for. So I could go either way. Like, Star Wars is a classic, but it's not really like a master. It kind of is a masterpiece. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
It like Star Wars is a revolutionary movie. It was way past its time. It was a cultural phenomena.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. It's still lasting today. Yeah.
Shawshank is like, wow, that movie was deep. That movie
Shawshank Redemption is, I mean, it has like one of the most iconic scenes when he actually escapes from prison through like the sewer he comes out of, and it's raining, and he like throws his arms up in the air and looks to the sky with the rain coming down. So cinematically, it has some beautiful scenes to it. But just the fact of him, like the whole concept of corruption within prison systems, and the fact that the warden is corrupt and he was in prison wrongly, but he makes the best of that circumstances there, makes a lot of friends. And even one of the friends doesn't kill himself when he gets out because of the prospect of seeing his other friend again, and that was the one thing that keeps him going. So it plays with those ideas of what like keeps you going in life, and then also what happens when you get out of prison when you've been gone for so long. So there's all these like thought-provoking things that happen in it, and it's just a more well-rounded story. But Star Wars has had a bigger impact on me in my life.
Yeah, I know. That's why I'm with you. I'm voting
There's so
Star
much more to
Wars.
talk about there.
I am going to be voting with Star Wars, but I
Josh,
think it's tough. I think it's close. I think it comes out by a hair, by an absolute hair, and it's a little painful. This is a painful round for me.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to lean more towards Shawshank. I think.
Nice. Leave it
More
up to
interested.
Jake.
you
Yeah,
gotta
'cause
be kidding me.
Josh doesn't like cultural phenomena.
Okay.
He doesn't like what brings people together.
Yeah, no.
Oh man, I am voting Star Wars just because of the impact it's had on my childhood.
Star Wars,
And on
man.
humanity itself, to be honest.
Yep.
So
Yep. And
That legitimately would be a hard one for many people to discuss.
Yeah.
All right.
with Star Wars is going to the semis, everyone.
Star Wars
Huge.
made it. Yep, to the semifinal.
I mean, that's not a big surprise at all.
No, but it was actually ranked. It wasn't a top rank. It was number 3.
Nice.
Now we have perfect, Josh. I got that. Now we have Demon Slayer versus John Wick. This one is difficult for me. So I think we got 2 minutes. This is going to be a Josh versus Paxton, I think,
I don't
discussion.
think so though,
I'm on
because
the fence.
I can
Starting.
be convinced for Demon Slayer because I've
Okay,
seen the
so
show and
Josh-
I love the show. So if it's like the show, I can get behind it. Because John Wick is a great fun movie, but I like if you're saying Demon Slayer is like a more deep and interesting story, then I can get behind that because I do love Demon Slayer. So
Well, it's a sequel to the
I can be
series.
convinced.
It's a sequel to the series, which means there's actual plot development that happens in
You know
the
what?
movie itself.
So
Like-
this is kind of crazy, but I'm actually leaning towards John Wick. I think
Okay.
John Wick is better.
Okay.
So I want to hear why Josh thinks Demon Slayer is better.
I think just the
If you think it's
detail.
better.
I do. I think the detail to the animation was so like it was just such a like eye-watering thing, if you can say it like that. Like it was so beautiful to look at. The actual plot development was so massive compared to what's happened in this series. What happens in this movie is unprecedented, unseen in the rest of the series. That like it's so shocking and surprising. The fight, the scale of the fight, the scale of the two opponents in the fight. It's just you see these two masters like just it like the martial arts like it's just it's such a sight to behold. It's very
John Wick
emotional
is
at the
visually
end.
stunning too.
It's very emotional. Well,
That's
it's
true.
different because it's just physical. Like
You can't say animated is better though. If you say animated is just better, then
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying like you can actually animate like fire or like you can see
Really?
like magic and like
concept.
no look
I-
like
I know,
do not
It's hard to
think
explain.
Action in Demon Slayer compares to John Wick. That's what John
no,
Wick is.
I don't think so.
It is
No,
a-
did you
No
see, the
way,
final
man. It
fight
is-
has way more action. I mean, the whole movie isn't just an action movie, but there are specific fights and scenes where it's like we have to win at all costs. We can't let anyone die, and it's like it's. I think.
I mean, okay.
Yeah, that's my opinion. I think Demon Slayer.
I don't know.
Time.
That's time. Wow. Jake,
I vote John Wick.
I really want to watch that Demon Slayer movie, Josh.
It's amazing.
It's so good. It's so
I
good.
really wanna
This
watch
is
it.
a tough matchup.
John Wick.
I
really want to watch it though. You gave it a really good shot, and I respect that.
I respect that.
You have my respect. That the fact you made me almost vote against John Wick, I think you should pat yourself on the back for that.
Yeah, that's impressive.
No, I think you should pat yourself. Like, that's my franchise.
Yeah,
When I talk
it
about
is.
movies, I talk about so. You made me stutter. So
Ooh, do you know what I just realized, guys?
what?
There's only one anime left, but fittingly, this anime is up against another animation. We have Wolf Children versus Spider-Man.
Interesting.
Hmm.
Two
I'll
two
talk about
minutes.
I'll talk
Anybody
about
can
I'll talk
talk.
a little bit. I'll talk about Spider-Man just for a little bit. I think one of the coolest concepts in the newest one was really cool is how like every Spider-Man is forced to deal with a certain loss of a certain really important individual. So you get to enter Miles' mind where he knows the person that's going to die in his future, and he's trying to wrestle with it. Well, I know how to save them, but also if I do save them, it'll break the multiverse and break other universes for other people. So it's really cool how they enter into that. And he wants to try and save everyone because he's his kid, right? He's a kid that just wants to save everyone. And so it's him against trying to, overcome this breaking of the multiverses with how he has to combat this. And the action is super fun. The villains are super engaging. I don't know.
Hmm.
I really like both of them. I think it's a super creative movie. And I think it's the most creative animated movie of the last 10 years. And yeah, it's really good. I'll let you talk though.
Yeah, I have a scene I want Jacob to play if possible.
Yep, we can pause the time on this for a second.
Wait, we gotta play
give me a
scenes to
minute
pause the time?
pull this up.
Yeah. Oh, well, I mean, I guess.
Oh, wait. We're opening that up?
No, because it's going to take me a second to open this up.
No, that's fine. But like, if is that a rule that we could pull up scenes?
Can you see this? Yeah,
I can't
it
see
is.
it. I think you're just sharing your Google
All right,
Chrome. Or...
so let me fix this.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up a scene too.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop streaming, or I'm gonna
Okay.
move it over. See if I can.
Remember how flawless it was
Yeah, I'm gonna
last time we
stop
watched?
streaming.
Remember how flawless it was last
It
time we
was
did this
not flawless at all. At least it's not me who's got the frozen camera now.
game?
Okay, here we go. Let me know when you guys got it.
Tell me it's not longer than a minute. Okay, perfect.
Yep.
All
I
right.
can see it now.
Oh, this is your piano song.
Well, this is one of them. Yeah.
Here we go.
Nice. Probably talk about it a little bit for the folks at home.
Yeah.
If you're not watching, it's like a school room we're looking at.
Yeah.
It's
So
like kids growing up. Sorry.
yeah, we're actually seeing these two kids in their separate respective classrooms. One is being very like social and integrating with the other kids, answering questions, being an active student. The older sister is defending her younger brother from these bullies. And this younger brother isn't interested in school at all, not interested in any sort of human relationships, doesn't want to be here. And we get these really cool lateral shots where we're going left to right, just sweeping between these two classrooms as they grow up in their years. And it just seeing these children mature and how their behaviors develop. It kind of like further pins down the point where the mother has to let these children grow up and can't decide or put any expectations on them. So that was a really cool scene. I think it was just a really cool scene, just the concept of seeing these two kids grow up by just moving the camera. Really cool.
I think that is definitely time. So
yeah,
this is a tough one. I mean, the only reason I have kind of negative thoughts about the Wolf Children is because of a certain person I know who had a certain interaction with that movie that made them turn to a furry.
Oh, are you serious? I didn't know about that.
Yeah, so apparently this movie awakened the furry inside of them. So that's why as far as all the animated movies you talked about, this is the least intriguing one to me. So it's kind of funny. This is the last one that survives. But we need to vote.
Oh boy. I wish we had more time to discuss these
Your
two.
camera's frozen, Jake. So you might want to just check out and check back in for that works.
Hello?
Yeah, I can see you now.
Okay.
Well, it's up to you, Jake.
Geez.
What do you think's a better film? What do you like more? What's more entertaining? That's your spectrum. Entertainment.
Entertaining.
I
think Wolf Children is more intriguing and thought provoking. I think Spider-Man's more entertaining.
What's your vote?
But this
now, it's a tough one. I know it's a tough one, dude.
See, I'm thinking that I'm gonna vote Wolf Children.
Let's go. Okay. I'm happy with that.
Kind of saw that one coming.
Wow, I can't believe
We'll talk.
yeah.
I'll talk more about why
Okay.
later on. All right, we're moving on to Gladiator versus Lord of the Rings. Josh, do you
Again,
want to take like 2 minutes to say why you hate Lord of the Rings?
Okay, so
Because
no, I'm gonna agree with Paxton. The fights were incredible. I'm just talking about like parts where they're just like exploring or advancing to this destination, and they're talking about this map stuff, and I don't know what map they're looking at. I don't know where these places are. I don't know what directions they're going. Like it's really it 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 makes me confused and then kind of disengaged because I don't know what's going on. Maybe I just need to rewatch it more and get more accustomed to the names and whatnot. But there are a lot of
that's
names
a
to
good one.
learn.
The names are
There's a
very
lot
good.
of names to learn because there are a lot of characters. There's a lot of locations and that you just have to read the book to know. Like there's a lot.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of prerequisite knowledge you need before you watching
I
the movie.
I feel like Gladiator has gotten by without us really talking about it much.
Yeah,
It's just been
agreed. Let's talk
bowling
about it.
over people without
it is a
much
really good film.
transition.
It, it's really good because
Well, it
I don't,
showed like
it's
the guy lost everything. He lost his family, so he becomes depressed in a way and just gets thrown
yeah.
into kind of this really, really low circumstance. But he ends up finding things to fight for as time goes on,
Mhm.
which is just revenge is
Yeah.
one of the
So the
biggest
thing is,
things.
the vengeance story is amazing. Like one, I remember this bone chilling line. It was like, "I will have my revenge in this life or the next." Like,
Yeah.
and he was like, he was so angry. Like there was so much emotion that like I will kill you. Like I hate you. It's
He said
amazing.
he said what we do in life echoes in eternity. I
Yeah,
love that
that's an
line.
awesome quote.
What
So
we
many
do in
awesome
life
quotes.
echoes in eternity. Holy crap, dude,
Amazing quotes.
that's pretty cool. I won't even lie.
The fights were really cool. I mean, gladiator. Think about it, just gladiators. We're this simple. We're
The
the male
beginning
podcast.
battle in Gladiator is really cool.
Yeah.
The beginning fight scene in Gladiator is very cool, where he's
Yeah.
like has that where he's like commanding people to go certain ways and certain types of troops to do certain types of
Yeah.
things. It's cool.
Oh, that's time.
Yeah, that being said, I mean Lord of the Rings is I don't have the same complaints you do have with it, maybe because I've seen it so many times and everything does make a lot of sense on what they're doing. And I think when they explore the worlds, I'm so just entranced in the world that
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bored at all. So I'm going Lord of the Rings.
Gladiator.
This is tough for me, but I'm going Lord of the Rings. Sorry, Josh. You just
Understandable.
continue to get ripped here. It's more incredible what it did. Gladiator is amazing. I
It is
love
very
Gladiator.
good. It actually might even be just a, like objectively better film, like story wise. But I don't even know. No, I don't even know what I'm saying.
Okay. We
Semi.
have the semifinals. We have finally gotten here. We are voting in our final two. It is going to be Star Wars versus John Wick and Wolf Children versus The Lord of the Rings. We're going to get 5 minutes on the clock for
Okay.
these. And let's start off with Star Wars versus John Wick. Go ahead and start the time.
I I don't even know which one I'm leaning towards right now. I mean,
I
when,
think
when I
okay,
think
here's my thought. Star Wars has way more problems than John Wick. Now, that said, it has way more movies, so it has just the higher potential for problems. Um, but John Wick's so crisp and
it
so
is.
aesthetically pleasing, and the fights are incredible. I love everything about it. I love Keanu Reeves' performance in it. It fits him.
It
Um,
does.
I I love the lore behind it, how they dig deep into all these different groups and organizations, and just there's this whole underworld of hitmen and like all the mafia is based on
Mm.
John. Well, that one mafia is based on John Wick. One of the things about the first movie that I love that some people complain about is the fact that it's like, what's up with the storyline? His dog dies, and so then he ends up going on this rampage. And I'm like, yeah, that's amazing. It's like something so as simple as like, let's just have his dog die. Um, it's a movie for dog lovers. If you love dogs, there's a dog in every single movie.
Oh, really?
There's just funny
Yeah,
things
it's
and
for
fun things like that.
Ah.
if you remember anything from this podcast, just John Wick is for dog lovers. So
Yeah,
make
it's
sure
for
to
dog lovers. You
recommend
like
this to
dogs, you
any.
vote for John Wick.
Yeah.
Mm.
I will say here's my problem. Every time I'm like, I'll vote for John Wick. I'm like, in my mind's like, wait, you're voting out Star Wars? And I'm like, I'll vote for Star Wars. Like, wait, you're voting out John Wick? It's like I can't vote out the other one. It's not about putting the other one forward. It's about putting the other one back.
Yeah.
Like I don't want to put either one of these franchises back because I love them both.
Okay, John Wick has a scene in a bookstore where John Wick takes this guy, this hulking guy, and takes a book, puts a book on the table, slams the guy's neck over the book, and slams it down and breaks his neck on this book. Like
But
it just
Obi-Wan,
has these kills that are so like
Creative, right?
audibly in the theater. You hear everybody go, "Oh!"
Mm.
Like just the experience of that. It's like everybody
It's
knows
true.
what the movie's about, what it's doing.
And kill
It's just
someone with a
cool
pen,
visual.
right? Like that's really creative. Oh, pencil.
Yeah.
Pencil.
But
The
but
pencil.
Obi-Wan jumps in front of a whole droid army and says, "Hello there," and takes down a guy. And takes down a guy with 4 lightsabers, dude. That scene is so cool. He fights General Grievous when he has 4 lightsabers and takes him down. I don't know.
Darth Maul, when Darth Maul kills Qui-Gon
Oh
Jinn
my gosh!
and
Don't even get me
Obi-Wan's
started.
sitting there
That
and
music,
screaming, and
that music. Dun, dun,
that
dun,
was
dun,
an
dun, dun, dun,
amazing
dun.
fight.
Oh my goodness.
Han Solo when he is being put into when he's
Gross.
being frozen, the cryo
Mm.
sleep, and Leia is running after him, and she goes, "I love you." And it was scripted that he was gonna say, "I love you too," but instead he just went with, "I know," and it like
Such a
fit
good
his
line.
character so well. Yeah, like fantastic.
Oh man, I
Best
was
performance.
leaning John Wick, but now what have you done to me?
Okay, I have a
Oh.
question. I have a question.
What are you voting for, Josh? I assume you made up your mind.
I'm pretty sure I'm going John Wick.
Okay,
Because I've
so-
seen John Wick. I haven't seen Star Wars. I've seen some scenes, but they don't seem that interesting. And but I want to ask you guys this because I think your conversation is probably more relevant and valuable. Like, what what percentage or proportion would you say the fact that Star Wars is iconic has on your decision for Star Wars? Is that
It's not
valuable
about
to
it.
you?
It's not about being iconic. It's about being nostalgic.
Right.
Like
I
that
would
was
agree.
one of like. There are a lot of iconic movies I don't like Fast and Furious. But like Star Wars is iconic, but it's mostly because it's a part of my childhood, and that was like what I watched. That's what I want. Like when I was a kid, that's what I wanted to be. I wanted to be a Jedi, all that good stuff.
Mm.
That being said, I'm probably gonna just end this and vote for John Wick because that is where I'm gonna end up. I know that's where this ends. I just don't want to go through the heartbreak of going and Xing off Star Wars. So I am gonna go with John Wick as well.
I actually easily vote John Wick here.
Okay.
So
Wow.
we got another sweep. We got another sweep.
Wow. John Wick
John
beats
Wick.
Star Wars.
In the
Makes it
grand finals,
to
dude.
the finals.
John Wick's going to the
Of
grand
course,
finals.
Keanu Reeves would fight his way and battle his way through
would.
many different opponents. Just like in the movie, he fought a Japanese sword master, and in this bracket, he fought a Japanese
And a Demon
sword
Slayer.
master show,
A
which
Demon
was
Slayer,
Demon
yeah.
Slayer.
What else did he fight? What else did he fight?
Star Wars.
Did he get anything else notable besides?
He probably fought people with lightsabers.
Scroll down the bracket.
with
Scroll down the bracket.
blasters.
I want to see. Scroll down the bracket for a second.
Do what?
Scroll down on the bracket so I can see what else he went through. I want to see if he got through any other hard. Oh, he got through A Quiet Place. And
Private Ryan,
he had a
Saving Private
tough
Ryan.
road. He didn't go through any easy rounds. Look at that.
No, he
Wow.
didn't have any easy battles.
No gimme rounds for him, and he
That's
made
right.
it.
He doesn't fight things that are soft. He only goes
Yeah.
against the hard ones.
Mm.
Yeah. I think he's gonna have another tough battle in the grand finals.
All right, Wolf Children versus the Lord of the Rings. Start the time. We all know what the Lord of the Rings is about. Wolf Children has one of the things that was very intriguing to me that was happening during this movie is you have two of the children who grow up and it's just their mom that's raising him who is human and their father was half wolf, half man. He was a wolf man. And they're also wolf children, so they can turn into a wolf or be a human child. But one of them embraces that early on and loves being a wolf, and she's running around and she's crazy and she's robust. The other is struggling, and you see him reading about the fact how like wolves are always the bad guys in all the stories. And he's like, okay, is it like bad to be a wolf? And he's very shy and very afraid of everything. And he's not very adventurous, where the other girl, she runs off and she scares off boars and all sorts of animals, and she's fearless. But it kind of switches at one point during the show, which is fascinating, where the girl ends up wanting to have like human interactions, and she ends up feeling bad by the fact that somebody smelled her and says like, you smell like a dog. And then she ends up lashing out against them and actually injuring them when she turns into a wolf, and then she's embarrassed by that whole thing. Because she's afraid that people, if they know she's a wolf, she'll get kicked out of school. But she wants to go to school with other humans. And so it starts like having her journey down there. Whereas the boy who did not like the fact that wolves were always bad and is timid and afraid, he ends up actually becoming more attached with the wolf side of things. And he ends up learning from one of the creatures of the forest. Um, and they end up kind of going different paths, and he becomes a little more wild and a little more feral, but a little bit more attached with nature and less interested in humanity. And it was kind of an interesting switch to me, but then it's also their mother and how she deals with that, and how she kind of accepts both of them for that, and how she learns to understand her kids and not know how to raise them. So it's, yes, it's weird because it's like obviously no mother has that challenge of dealing with children who are a wolf and a human, but it also could be kind of a social commentary on just a mother raising kids who are very different. And she sees one way she wants things to go, but she doesn't even know what she wants for them necessarily. She's
Mm-hmm.
just trying to do a good job of raising them and loving them. And she feels the difficulty of their father's not there to teach them certain things. And she feels the pressures of society, and she's trying to protect her kids. But how much do you protect your kids versus allow them to follow what they want to do and what
Mm-hmm.
their dreams are? And so it tackles a lot of those ideas, which I thought was intriguing. And I was curious, but I'm very curious as to why Josh really likes the movie and what were the things he attaches to the most.
Yeah, I mean, we're not giving Lord of the Rings its proportion of time, but that's fine with me. Because yeah, Wolf Children, like, it had so many, like, there's another scene that I wanted to play, but don't think we have time for it. And it's like there's so much nostalgia there. It's like me, I can see myself being one of these kids, and I can see like my mom always hard at work. I can, like, I look at that and I'm like, wow, childhood was amazing. And like the thing is with this mom in particular, this mom gets a property in the middle of nowhere, a completely broken down house, and fixes up the property, figures out how to like grow like sustenance out of become a farmer and repair the entire house, working hard all the time, trying to like provide for these kids while like nurturing them. And it's really inspiring example of what a mom is capable of doing, like, and just you can see just how much she loves them and cares about them, and it's so heartwarming. It's so there's so much like it's such a beautiful relationship that these kids have with their mother. That's just what makes me so emotional when I watch it every single time. So and at the end, the when the son becomes a wolf forever and like moves to the forest, the mom is like calling her son back, like, please come back, and then just says, no, I have to let him go. It's just like the development of the mom and just like understanding and loving her kids so much to just see them on their way and let them grow, and it's a beautiful film. I Yeah, it's hard to explain without just seeing it yourself. It's just too much.
Yeah. What's the time left?
7 seconds.
Okay. That's it then.
Wow.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Paxton, what are your thoughts after we explain that to you?
I really want to watch that movie, but I don't think a standalone film talking about something that plenty of movies have tackled should go against an absolute cult, like the greatest fantasy movies of all time. I mean that's just where I'm gonna vote. I mean, Lord of the Rings is timeless. It is one of my all time favorite films.
Would you say it's thought provoking though?
Yeah, and a lot of times,
Really?
yeah. Because with when the ring starts corrupting Frodo and he starts turning against his
Mm.
friends, and the whole scene where Sam says, "I can't carry the ring, but I can carry you," is just
Mm-hmm.
I love that scene where Sam like figures out he can't carry the ring, but he can carry his friend to the finish line, and
Yeah,
I think
that was moving.
that is just so amazing.
Mm-hmm.
And where they have to fight Gollum at the end, and oh man,
All right. I vote Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the
Sorry,
Rings.
Josh. We're not
Understandable.
sparing anything. We're moving it in. My my weeb nature doesn't go that deep. It doesn't run.
I was about to say, Jake, if you vote for a movie you saw 2 days ago again,
It doesn't run that deep.
Yeah,
but good run by the Wolf Children. Let's give it a round of applause.
Yeah,
Good run
it's-
by the Wolf Children. Way to make it to the semis. Way to
incredible.
make it-
I appreciate that.
Yeah, did it ever have some good competition? Let's see. It went up against. It
The
actually had a
Mummy,
pretty easy.
Beautiful Mind, Evergarden,
Yeah, the Mummy,
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man
No.
was probably its toughest competition.
But still not that tough. That's actually a pretty easy ride.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings was definitely the toughest. That's interesting.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We have made it to the end. It feels fitting that Lord of the Rings is here, one of the greatest series of all time, despite Josh's hate for it. We at least had Paxton and I who kept it going.
Oh
Against
man,
and the good thing is we have all seen both of these movies.
that's true.
So
That
I
is a
don't know
good point.
Mhm.
I think
Josh has only seen
know-
the first one.
I think we still know where Josh is leaning on this one, but I wouldn't say this is a gimme for myself.
Yeah, I don't know where you're going, Jake. I don't know where I'm going.
Oof. So
So,
we got 10
it-
minutes, Josh.
it's-
Start
Okay.
the timer on 10
If
minutes.
I'm gonna say this: if either me or you, Jake, go John Wick, it's over. Keeping that, we have to be in agreement that the Lord of the Rings is better.
Yeah, we know Josh. You're going John Wick, right?
I think so. Yeah.
You think
Yeah.
so?
Yeah.
Well, that gives us a little bit of leeway there. We
It
might be able to
does.
convince. But
Okay.
is that what we want?
Lord of the
Is that-
Rings. We've talked about John Wick a lot. We've kind of taken it for granted for Lord of the Rings. We've just been pushing like, oh, it's a great movie. Nothing else has done this. We haven't gotten really in depth into Lord of the Rings. So obviously the books were incredible. It's based off the books. One of the things Lord of the Rings did is has just incredible cinematics. Do you remember the
Mhm.
scene? I believe it is in The Return of the King when they light the beacons of Minas Tirith. And
Yeah.
the whole scene of them having to sneak up there and light it, but it wasn't even that. It's when they finally lit it, and then you see off in the distance this other beacon lit, this little flame pop up on a mountain, and then it goes through this whole panel of these mountains with, and you're trying to see where's the next fire going to come from, and it's really this just whole scene of beautiful, gorgeous mountain shots. Now, growing up in Washington, hiking Mount Rainier, I love the mountains. I love incredible visuals like that. But it was visually stunning, and they did it in a way where it was meaningful. And then the music building up with that, you feel the intensity of the moment. You feel this moment of hope as different lights continue to form in the distance. There is the little bit of weirdness, like really there's like one guy that lives on the top of the mountain in a little hut, just spends his whole time waiting for
When
a
it hasn't
fire
been
to
lit
be
in
lit.
100 years, when it hasn't been lit in how many years, you know?
I mean, there's probably a couple people up there, but still, that was just like, okay, that seems kind of wild.
Yeah.
But it's the same idea as a fire watch up here in the Midwest or Pacific Northwest. But anyways, that was like incredible. There are very, very strong values that are put throughout the movie.
Mhm.
They're just these epic scenes. It's this battle between good and evil. It's characters battling with their own corruption. I love Boromir. I love his battle with searching for power, but then at the very end, he actually has this redeeming moment where he sacrifices his life for those who he was just trying to
Well, he
take
has
the
like
ring
he has
from.
like a wake up moment because he tried to attack Frodo, and then he like he has this wake up moment where he's like, "What am I doing?" And
Yeah.
in that moment, he like starts crying, and it's amazing.
But he's a much more relatable character
He
than
is
I think Aragon, because Aragon's just like
very stoic.
the noble, selfless individual who does what's right for most of the time. But Boromir actually fails. But then in his death, he has a moment where he does good. And it's, I don't know, it does characters very, very well. I'm
Like
trying to think
Gollum.
of other scenes.
Gollum is so cool. I know it's like
Gollum's battle with himself.
goodness. The whole character is amazing. Who's the voice actor for that guy?
Andy
Andy Serkis.
yeah.
Like I realize the game came out and now everyone hates Gollum. So let's just throw that aside and pretend that doesn't exist. But Gollum is so cool. Such a cool character, such a unique character where he has these two different personas and he talks to himself, and that's a really cool dynamic to see.
Also, another thing is one of the things incredible about the Lord of the Rings is the costume designs and the sets.
Oh
They
yeah.
built all their own sets. They didn't use like costume designs were incredible, immaculate. Like just the orcs
So many,
in the Lord of
so
the
many.
Rings looks better than pretty much any CGI I've ever seen since then of any sort
Mm.
of like creature or fantasy creature.
This came out in the early 2000s.
Yeah,
Oh,
and it's
that's
still a
It's
wow.
huge product.
insane. It looks
It's
insane.
what they accomplished was
Because it was
just
a passion project. It
ground.
really was a passion project for them.
Yeah,
Everyone on that set I've read was just wanted to make this the best thing for the audience possible.
yeah.
And they put in so much extra work to make that possible, and it shows. It shows how passionate they were about it and how much they respected the source material, which is amazing.
Now I will say that, oof, like some of the negatives of the Lord of the Rings are there are points that are slow. It's
Yep.
very, very long. There are points where it is very slow. This is a weird negative that I probably won't count against it, but some of its fan base get too fanatical and too annoying. Whereas John Wick, that doesn't happen. um,
That's kind
I
of
feel
true,
like
yeah.
John Wick people just they know it's just a fun series and movie, and they don't get like,
Lord of the
and
Rings fans do treat it like it's untouchable.
yeah, the Lord of the Rings fan base they care too much. John Wick are like, yeah, we know it's not the greatest thing ever made, but it's a blast. It's so much
Yeah,
fun,
it is a
and
fun film.
it doesn't matter if other things are said that be
It
better.
never has a slow moment. That's true.
And it's just constant action.
But it never gets old
Shots.
yet. Well, actually, that's not true. The fourth one, actually, by the very end of that movie, the fourth one, I was kind of getting tired of the gun takedowns. That stair scene, it
Yeah,
kind of got. You remember that where it's just like,
yeah.
okay, let's get to the finale. Like I actually felt that, which was the first time. Which is, I mean, that's the first time I ever felt that in those four films. So they were doing a lot right.
Does John Wick have any good soundtracks or like any music that really stands out? Because I know Lord of the Rings, I remember some of those
Yeah.
tracks were
John
really
Wick has
amazing.
great music. Yeah.
Kind of,
Um,
yeah. It's. I mean,
it's more of like a club vibe. So it's actually it'd be
dancing.
more similar to like EDM and that type of music.
Mhm.
So it's got definitely different. It's really got epic music, but in a very different way.
Oh yeah. It's very
Um,
electronic, very
yeah,
jumpy,
very
very.
like yeah, exactly.
It
Uh,
complements the scenes of him jumping around,
Right.
taking guys out. You
They
know,
do a great. The music is great in that as
it
well.
doesn't. It doesn't make it silly, but it
Uh,
makes it
but Hans
epic.
Zimmer, I don't know if it will go up against
No,
Hans
not
Zimmer's
even
music.
close.
oh wait, Hans was on Lord of the Rings?
Yep.
Oh
Yeah,
boy, okay, that's changing some stuff. Okay, cool.
yeah.
Uh, and what
I
do you
know.
think?
Now I'm just finally
I know my
appreciating.
vote.
Okay,
We all know our votes.
what real quick. Do
Yeah.
you think? Do you ever think? Because you mentioned this earlier before. Like, I think the plot design for Lord of the Rings is objectively better than John Wick. So, but do you think? Because I've only seen the first movie, but do you think there's enough detail and complexity in the other movies that make it like a worthwhile plot, like that it could compete with Lord of the Rings just in terms of plot?
It gets better and it expands the universe, and it does a lot of great things. I compete with the Lord of the Rings is a bold statement, which I can't get behind, but the plot definitely gets a lot thicker than it's just a guy who was a good assassin that had his dog killed.
Yeah,
It
because
gets
that was
way
movie
bigger than
one,
that.
so that was kind of
Yeah,
like, eh.
it gets way bigger than that. It
Okay,
has, and you get to explore way more of John's background and especially his wife and stuff. But
Man, oof. I need to talk about John Wick some more because I feel like Lord of the Rings is catching steam. The more and more things I consider about it, it's like, man, this was
is that a
ground.
bad thing though? Like
Yeah,
I get John. John is just such a different film because
so
like
different.
hmm.
it is really what it does. It does the best, and that's action. And Lord of the Rings, what it does, it's the best, and it's epic scenes. So it's like epic adventure or epic action. That's what it is. It's an adventure story versus an
Yeah,
action story,
it really
and
is.
both are kings of its genre.
Yeah.
Kings.
Hmm.
Oh my goodness. I'm getting more torn the more I think about it
I know. I'm getting
because
frustrated.
I've ranked John Wick higher than Lord of the Rings on my list.
Hmm.
I enjoyed it more.
Hmm.
But
Well, that's your standard right there.
I know, but I don't know if that should be my standard anymore. That's why I keep saying
Everything's changed. Everything's changed.
out of pure entertainment, John Wick was more entertaining. Lord of the Rings, like I could go on and on and on and on by what makes Lord of the Rings incredible.
Mhm.
And
It
there are
doesn't.
so many things about it.
And here's
I
another thing.
think
Here's
I
here's
think
another
Lord
thing.
of the Rings is lower on my list just because of when it came out. Like it's old,
And
and
you've seen it so many times,
I've
yeah.
seen it so many times.
That's what it is. But listen, here's what I'm gonna say about Lord of the Rings. I don't think there's ever gonna be another film in human history like Lord of the Rings. I think it was a 1 in a million film. I really do. I don't think we're ever gonna have an epic adventure on that scale. With that,
Yeah,
like,
but if anyone could beat it, it would be Keanu Reeves.
it's true. If Keanu Reeves had his own epic adventure story,
That's good.
I listen. I don't know. I also really like John Wick and the act.
30 seconds.
Four was so good. Four was so good as well.
Remember the moment though in John Wick when he calls him and says, "I hear you struck my son," and he says, "Yes, I
Yep.
did, sir." And he's like,
Oh,
"Care to explain why?" And he's like, "Well, because he broke into John Wick's house, killed his dog, and stole his car." And just his
all right.
response, he turns and he says, "Oh."
And hangs up.
It was such a great way of building a character's
It is.
reputation
Yep,
as being a badass and
Yeah.
being terrifying.
Yeah.
that's time.
That was more impactful than
All right,
I've
gentlemen. Let's go down the line, starting with Josh, because I'm just curious where he's gonna go. What are you voting?
Yeah, this is tough. I actually might have been convinced with this conversation.
What is your vote?
I think Lord of the Rings is the better movie.
Jake, do you want to say us on the countdown, or are you gonna go first?
let's have Josh count down the two of us.
We'll say it together.
Yep.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Lord of the Rings. It's a sweep, baby. It's a
Okay.
sweep for the grand
man.
finals. What an
Oh,
epic conclusion. I'm sorry. It is Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
I mean, it is such a good movie, man. Ah, there we go. There you have it, ladies and gentlemen. The official best movie rated by this podcast. Lord of the Rings takes the crown.
Mhm.
What an
Acceptable.
epic finish. What an epic finish.
wow. All right, ladies and gentlemen, Josh and Paxton, that is it. Out of our favorites, Lord of the Rings is victorious, whether or not it was fair, whether or not this list should have been completely different.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Lord of the Rings wins. But we have a few minutes now, just closing thoughts.
Should we do like 10 minutes? I feel like we should set a timer on it.
Yeah, put 10
It's already
minutes.
it's already going pretty long.
This is a timed episode, 10 minutes for just in any order, us to talk about our closing thoughts, any grievances, anything that we didn't get to talk about that got brushed over that we want to bring up.
Why don't we go down the line of the movies and we'll just like stop when we get to one that we'd like to talk about,
Okay.
like someone that lost. Starting with the first round.
No, I think it's going to take too long to
Yeah.
do that.
It's just I'll say one. I was mad Pirates went out in the first round because Pirates of the Caribbean is amazing, and I think it is better than Glorious Bastards, even though Glorious Bastards is on my list. I think Pirates of the Caribbean was also very revolutionary for its time and deserved way more respect and love and attention. So I'm gonna shout out that one. And my other big one was The Truman Show. I love Scott Pilgrim, but I genuinely think The Truman Show is a way better movie. Just overall, I think it did what it wanted to do better than Scott Pilgrim. But those are probably like my two really notable ones. I wasn't mad when Spider-Man lost to the Wolf Children because you guys seem really passionate about the Wolf Children, and I'm not. The passion I saw in Josh's eyes for the Wolf Children is not the passion I have for Spider-Man. So I was like, he should probably win this, even though I think Spider-Man's better. He should probably win this.
Man,
So
I appreciate that.
I was like, this means a lot to my man, so he's got to win this one.
That, yeah.
My grievances were more over, and it's funny because this is
The
what
first rounds.
the first round and some of the matchups that we had,
Yeah.
like John Wick versus A Quiet Place.
That was
I
tough.
hated the fact that A Quiet Place.
No,
was
facing
John Wick.
One of your really scroll up. I think one of the very first one. It was Good Will Hunt. Good Will Hunt went on the first.
Yes, Good Will Hunting versus 9. Actually, thank you for bringing that up.
Yes,
That is the one that drove me crazy the most.
yeah.
Good Will Hunting, I think was like number 2 on my list of favorite movies.
Overall.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
and
sad.
it took an early exit to a pretty like.
Oh yeah. It was very tragic. It was.
And 9's only like
heartbreaking.
good. 9's not even
Heart-
great film.
Oh, But it lost to 9. I only had a minute. To talk about it.
30 seconds. You had 30 seconds.
Oh, yeah, I had 30 seconds. That's right. To try to explain Good Will
And
Hunting.
it lost to 9.
Oh,
All right, why don't you talk about it a little bit? Sell me on it.
Yeah, so Good Will Hunting has a lot to do with like psychology and like
Why did you say that? That would have
trauma.
You would have actually sold me if you'd said that. Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Ah.
Because
Unlucky.
so Will basically, oh man, I botched it. I totally botched it.
Yeah. It was the early rounds. We were finding our groove.
Oh yeah, it was just
chaotic.
fated to die. So Will, the main character, who's this prodigy, so basically he has like a photogenic memory, right? So he sees something, he always remembers it, but he's especially gifted in science and in mathematics. Like he can just solve things immediately.
If you said that, I
And
would have voted for it. That's crazy.
He but he's also has like a rough friend group and childhood and upbringing. And what happens, what starts the whole movie, is he solves this equation on a board that nobody else could solve. It was put there on the professor, and the professor's like, hey, anybody who can solve this, like, will basically get all these accolades, and like nobody's ever done this. You have till the end of the semester to do it. So that I'm just going to put it up there. If somebody can solve it, then we'll bring them up. Few days later, somebody solves it. And so they're like, who did it? Like he in his class, he's like, whoever did it, come forward. Nobody comes forward. So he's like, okay, this person obviously has a flair for the dramatics. So they get an even bigger group together to be like, all right, you know, you've made your point and you've got your show, finally come forward. Nobody comes forward.
Yeah.
So the professor ends up finding out that so he puts another problem on the board, and he ends up seeing Will, who's a janitor, working on that board, and he yells at him because he's like, hey, this is somebody's work, like what are you doing? And he gets mad at him, and he runs over there, and he's yelling at him. He chases the kid off, and then his friend looks at the board and he's like, hey, you better take a look at this. And he looks, and he goes, I think it's right. And so he realizes that this janitor was the one that was solving these equations. So then he tries to look more into him, but right after that, a few days later, or maybe the next day, Will, the main character, he goes and sees like a kid who used to bully him when he was younger, and him and his friends are like, that's the kid. And so they're like, all right, we're gonna do this. So they all jump out of the car and get into like a street fight with this kid who used to bully him. And then the cops come to break it up, and Will, the main character, he punches the cop and fights the cop.
Nice.
And so then he gets put on trial, and yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I just want to say we do have 10 minutes, so
all right, yeah.
I got 4 movies I want to touch on lightly.
So that's it. He gets put on trial. He's going to be put in prison, but then the professor comes and makes a deal with the judge and says, hey, if you agree to take counseling, I'll take you out and you can help me solve math problems, but you have to go to counseling. And then Robin Williams is the counselor. So it's all about his journey through math and then also psychology and counseling and all that. And it's really good.
Very cool. That sounds like a very good movie. Joker, taking an early exit to Harry Potter. Joker's a great film, although I did vote for Harry Potter. That was a bit shocking, I won't lie. And then Spirited Away going out in the first round to Instant Family.
Yeah, I was so surprised.
That was in a sweep. A sweep.
So Spirited Away didn't really evoke any sort of emotions out of me. It was just beautiful to behold, and it was like very nostalgic, but it wasn't like, oh wow, I feel like crying or I feel so moved. Like
that
Instant
touched
Family.
My heart. When you all voted for it, that touched my heart. I was like, wow, you guys are actually going with it.
I feel like being moved in a movie is like, that's kind of like in the name of it. It's like you want to be moved in a movie. Like, so that's why I value that a lot.
That's a big part of it.
Mm-hmm.
I would say Logan losing to iRobot is tragic. I would say 1917 losing to Tucker and Dale is tragic. Even though I do like both those movies.
Those are rough.
I can't get behind that. I really can't.
Those are just rough matchups.
But Logan, I can't believe. I actually am shocked because I've seen iRobot. I can't believe you like iRobot more than Logan because I know how much you like Logan. So I was really surprised because I was me and Jake are gonna take Logan.
I think Logan is a better movie, but iRobot has like a special place in my heart. Yeah, I guess you could say.
Okay, can I bring up some? I want to bring up
Yeah.
Minecraftian. So real quick.
Okay, I
No,
would
no,
say
I'm not even
you,
kidding.
you
Go
you
ahead.
did sell that movie very well. I won't
Okay.
even lie. I just there was no way a Minecraft movie was going to take out Princess Bride, but you did make as far
Okay.
as like Minecraft movie sound, you made that sound very interesting.
It's the most incredible. Like it should be like
Where
on
does it rank on your
IMDb.
list?
It.
Where does it rank on your list?
I need to. I'll tell you afterwards. But
Okay.
real quick, I just need to say I made my mom watch this movie because I loved it so much as a
Wow.
child. She knows absolutely nothing about video games. She doesn't know what's going on, right? She doesn't play any games. They made this movie such that you don't actually have to understand how Minecraft works. You can just see this
That's
as
cool.
anyone
That
else.
is cool.
And my mom cried at the end. She had no idea what Minecraft was, and she was like,
Why didn't
"I
you
am
say
so
that?
moved." Well,
That's a
I
good
was
selling
I
point.
had 30 seconds, so
I know, dude.
This
I
is me
know.
and Goodwill Hunting, man. The
yeah,
first round was the
What a
bloodbath.
choke! You choked.
we should
You
watch
choked.
Minecraft together.
Dude,
Actually, that would be great.
going back, I'm gonna be like, man, why didn't I say certain things?
Yeah,
Because I feel like I could have made such a better case for some of these movies than I did.
likewise.
Except the Truman Show. I thought I made such a good case for the Truman Show that I made it sound so much better than Scott Pilgrim, and you
Mm,
didn't take it. I was like, no way. But that's
yeah,
cool. What else do you want to
I
talk
was
about?
yeah.
surprised Josh chose Scott Pilgrim.
I know, me too.
I like the video game
It's
reference you made. Like I like game. I like movies that reference games.
It is very much more of a video game
it
type
is
of
for video.
movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they did a great job by it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Josh, do you want to talk about
Yeah.
more?
So real quick, Borat.
It is
I'm
a good movie.
sad. Like it's actually the funniest movie I've ever seen, and it got taken out so fast.
Do you know why you like it?
Well, it's hilarious. It's absolutely
Actually,
hilarious.
have you seen Eric Andre, Jake?
Yes.
Because it's a
Oh,
lot
Yeah.
like that. It's a lot like
Is
that
it?
humor. It's that kind
Okay.
of dark
Okay.
humor.
Yeah.
It is good. It's a good movie, and it'll make you laugh. I guarantee you will laugh. We
yeah.
could watch it, all three of us. It's good.
Yeah, we could watch that one together too.
I'm sad about 12 Angry Men as well. 12 Angry Men should have
What did it lose to? What did it lose to?
gotten
It
Lord
had,
of the Rings. It
Yeah.
lost to the grand champion.
and
Yeah,
Astro
that-
Boy wasn't even on the books, so it's like it's unfortunate. Like it basically didn't have a shot, and it's
it didn't.
like let me explain further just a little bit real quick. Like
Go for it.
this guy just wants to just argue for this guy's life out of just like a whim, and slowly like over a course of 2 or 3 hours convinces these other 11 men that no, this guy might have actually not committed the murder. And we get to see these 11 other men, how they behave, like their personal lives, and like why they might be so like lazy and uncaring to actually argue for this guy's life. So it was like, wow, we have to take care of ourselves in the legal system and actually think about what we're saying and stuff like that. So that
What's
was,
your time?
yeah, 30 seconds. 30 seconds.
Okay. Probably. Does anyone have anything else? I
I have
I
one
mean,
more.
we can go a little bit longer for this if we need to. Grievances, I was going to give people longer on this section.
What's
I
up?
will say 12 Angry Men is an incredible movie.
Yeah.
I've only seen it once and I
Same.
was hooked. I was glued to it the whole
Mm.
way through.
It
That's
is
a good
the
spectrum
most
right there.
thought-provoking. Like it, you can just have so many debates and conversations afterwards as well. Like who is right and what were the good points and like
I think one of the things is that it's shocking that I would be interested in that type of premise.
mm,
Like or
yeah.
just the movie of like it's a court case and it's the jury talking about the case and you're insanely glued to it. And it yeah, it's just
That's a
really,
great spectrum to use. Is like
really
how
well done.
like glued you were to it. That's such a great spectrum that we never even touched on when talking about movies. Is like how engaged
Yeah.
we were with it while we were watching it.
Mhm.
It's,
'Cause
it's
I should have brought that up.
extremely engaging.
That's good.
Anyone else
That's
have
like
any?
one of the things it would have over the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah,
Is
I
12
agree with
Angry
that.
Men, you're focused on every part of it and you don't want to miss anything and you're just
Mhm.
fascinated. Lord of the Rings definitely have some parts where you can just kind of zone out and it's all good.
I'm gonna quickly go over the ones you guys sold so well. I'm probably gonna watch, and there's a few.
Oh yeah,
Demon
we should talk about that real quick. Based off of this, what movies we're now interested in watching?
I'm
Mhm.
going with Demon Slayer, just because I didn't actually know there was a movie. Believe it or not, I've seen the show. I didn't know there was a movie, but you guys made it sound really cool.
Amazing.
Which one? Usual Suspects was probably the number one. You made that sound really cool, Jake. I really want to see that one. What else? What over here? Let's see. I've seen the
zoom out.
platform. Yeah, that's better. What was the one anime one on the top right that you made sound really good?
Evergarden. It was
Was it
Evergarden.
your? Oh, it was Evergarden. That's what it was. Yeah, I wanted to watch that one. Goodwill Hunt sounded also good. Once you actually explained it, that actually sounded really good. And I think there was one more. Was it Fate Stay Night? I think it was Fate Stay Night, I
Cool. I'm
believe.
glad.
Yeah, to round off. Those all sounded incredible.
For me, I'm gonna go Goodwill Hunting and A Beautiful Mind. Like those two premises sound really. I'm like I like math. Like I'll just say that. Like that was one of my hobbies as a kid, and it's really interesting to me. And
Mm.
I think I would be very engaged in those movies. And I Robot seems very thought provoking. I like thought provoking movies, so I would probably give that one a watch as well. IP
You know
Man,
what?
my dad.
I really,
What?
I really wouldn't say iRobot's thought provoking because it's really an action movie. I wouldn't say it's like that's its main selling
Ah,
genre.
Yeah, it is, but you
Uh,
missed, I think, a lot, Pax.
ooh,
Possibly, but it is very like mainstream. It's not like
okay,
like it's good. It's good, but
Yeah, I will say, so it's based off of Isaac Asimov and
yeah,
his book series I, Robot. I've read the book. The movie has nothing to do with the book, but that's fine because the book itself is a bunch of short stories about robotics, and it does dive more into kind of like the actual science fiction of robotics and how this would work. And it's kind of a very much what if, like what are the potential ways that we could see weird breakings of robots and effects of like if we gave them laws, how would this work? So that's the
mm,
book.
okay.
sounds like Detroit Become Human.
Yeah.
Hmm. I'm gonna watch IP Man and Instant Fam as well. I think those two are.
Oh, you're gonna watch Instant
Yeah,
Family?
no, I
I
think
really want to watch Instant
we
Family
should
too.
watch it
Wait,
together.
Jake, you haven't seen it either?
No, I
I
haven't.
thought you seen it.
No.
It first and foremost is it's a comedy drama, but it's insanely. It's headed by Mark Wahlberg. He's the
Yeah.
dad, and he does a great job.
Mm,
It just really rings home with me because like it just makes me so thankful for the family I ended up with, and it really strikes a chord there, and it just fills me with gratitude every time I watch it,
mm.
which is 2 times, not a lot. Anything, Jay? How about you, Jake?
I mean, Instant Family was one of them, and then obviously, most of the anime movies that Josh mentioned that I haven't seen. So, Violet Evergarden, the movie, I want to see that. Um, Fate, Fate Zero is one of my favorite animes of all time.
Yeah,
So,
same.
Fate Stay Night, Heaven's Feel is definitely
I
something
don't.
it's been on my list. Like, it's something that I want to watch for sure. Um, yeah, no, there's I've
That's
actually
cool.
seen most of the things on here. I'm intrigued now by Minecraftian with Josh's last pitch for it with the
Yeah,
story with
that
his
was
mom.
good. That was good. You
Um,
should have
yeah.
said that.
I bet.
Unlucky.
Was it really gonna win against Princess Bride though? Like seriously, it's a
If you
Minecraft
said
movie.
that,
Really?
I mean, I if
I
you
wouldn't have voted for it.
I would have voted for it if you said that
Uh,
whole thing because I do like
Wow.
Minecraft. I do like Minecraft and Princess
Yeah.
Bride. Like it's, I just find it, it's an iconic movie. It's not
yeah, yeah.
super special to me, but whatever. Is it time to wrap up?
Yeah, I mean, I think we talked about it. I was curious to talk about biggest surprises, biggest
Yeah.
upsets. I think biggest upset definitely goes to Instant Family beating Spirited Away.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
biggest surprises is probably like Paxton Stead's movies such as Logan in 1917 not making it through. Um,
Also,
and Joker as well. Like
Jurassic
there are
Park
Jurassic Park. There are a lot of big names that just got stomped in the
crushed,
very beginning.
just crushed.
So this um yeah, I expected this to happen.
It was fun. It was very fun to do this. I won't
Yep.
lie.
One
I
last
think
question.
that's about it. Closing statements.
Yeah,
Josh, you have a question?
yeah. So should we like have a part in the video where we just post our actual full rankings, like the full list ranked?
Yeah,
Or
we could
okay,
maybe edit that in.
sure.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
cool.
So people can see where they were ranked for us. Because yeah, this ranking has nothing to do with where we put them. We put our lists in. It's something I didn't tell you guys that I wasn't even considering how you guys ranked things. It was purely based on how audiences around the world ranked
Mhm.
the
Hmm.
shows
Okay.
or sorry, the movies. But
Yeah.
yeah, I think that's it. That's all
Cool.
I've got. I don't know what we're doing next time. We have a couple ideas in the works.
Hmm. Yeah.
Hopefully we'll do some more games or maybe even come up with some different formats for things
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah.
This was our first time doing this. It was fun.
It worked very well.
Very
Yeah.
passionate, boys. Very passionate.
I will
Yeah.
see you all next week.
Yep. See
All
ya.
right. This is Simp signing off.